All right, welcome for joining us. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it for the Nameless Fellowship.
Pleasure,
Woo,
adventure together.
woo,
Woo, woo,
Get excited. All right, so our session 56, what we did before was rather simple. We had made way to Forg. We spent some time in Forg. In terms of the courtyard, as I described, this farming village. It's been a day, let me tell you. Okay. So this farming town slash village had been segmented into two pieces. There was a separation between the two, and it was separated by like a plantation and kind of agriculture of grains and things. And there was like a house right at the backside of that. And that was what you would refer to as like a plantation house, right? It's just like large farmland that Ford is kind of built around on two sides from west and east. On the shoreline of a large tributary that feeds into the Yzma River, the cliff sides are not as impressive as the Yzma River has been proclaimed. And so there is a large kind of red rock bridge that crosses over that. And then there are shoals and other areas where there are like half orcs and other individuals making up their shacks and their lean-tos, and as well as another larger kind of orcish-like structure. Lots of smoked fish happening down there, and just having its own world, right? So you had an encampment of dwarfs that occupy Fork, and that was on the eastern side, very close to a bakery, just outside the courtyard of the actual main kind of center point of the town where the road passes through. The road actually passes through directly into the courtyard, and the courtyard is built around a large red rocked mill. So this kind of foundational structure that's the reason why the town's here is they use the communal mill to grind grain, and then they do their various things. So the tavern that was there is actually burned down. So when you went to the courtyard, you looked across the way, and the tavern was destroyed. The only other structure that had kind of like a communal dining-esque vibe was the bakery. And that had a small cafe, and there's people kind of moving in and out, sometimes getting bread and things. And then there was also traders within the courtyard. This place is a great center point of trade, just like the crossroads was outside of the Windy Tower. So there you decided to get a table, set up the table, some chairs, set up the chairs, and you pitch it right outside of the Mauserlig, the technically brewery in Dwarvish, of the Windy Tower, the Windy Ale House. And you were able to get your flights, albeit floats, is what Nathan Gilga had called it. And you began to drink. Well, it's an occupied town, and as such, there were dwarfs. And those Clan Gilgal dwarfs were riding war rams as they rode into the courtyard. And they were looking potentially for things that their commander, maybe, right, whoever was leading them, had needed. One of which was ale. Seeing the monster like there, they said, hey, give us your wagon of ale. Bring it to the encampment. And they acted like this is a normal thing. This isn't an abnormal thing. So, in terms of coin, we had right exchange to them, asking them questions, getting the gist of what is happening. And as they stated, that the encampment that is there has been there for some time. And the encampment kind of feeds itself off of the town. And they don't pay for anything, they just take it. And the people here don't want trouble. They're not soldiers, they're not warriors, they're just farmer folk. They don't want trouble. Now, after the war ram soldiers left this place, they headed to the bakery, most likely to pick up goods and service, breads and things and all that. And from there, during the heat of the conversation, mentioned refugees. Refugees that had fled the forces of Clan Gilgal, particularly from Clan Drawrill or Clan Alderfist. Clan Radall, as told, is destroyed. Clan Radall is a war-bearing dwarvish clan, very reclusive, They don't allow anybody into their city. Rapture. Sorry, Besnir. And it doesn't surprise that they were targeted. Right off. So why does this matter? Well, this individual who works for the brewery, or the ale house, had said that they've actually rescued refugees. And then they essentially pick them up, hide them, and then they take them as far as they can towards the path. They drop them off. They don't keep them. They let them go on their own way. As you know, Fort Flatminer was occupied. But that was recent. So, some of these refugees might have made it into the Gorn Valley or into the mountains, getting away. Mentioning, hey, we need to talk to a refugee. We need to figure out some things. Lo and behold, one of them was found in the bakery. You all acted, intervened. You saved that refugee. Cask, who then, after slaying these people, said that there was someone that could help. Somebody that could help. They didn't really know who that was, because the story that they told was they escaped from the prison known as Iloktha. And they escaped as they led by a gold-rimmed iron forge. And when they escaped, they got separated from Goldrim and others. And they fled into this forest on the north side of Forg. The forest here, to these people of the Grey Mato, is referred to as Tolak. But the dwarfs refer to something else. And even the humans probably refer to it as something else. So, when this person got here, Cask, he actually ran in to Grey Mato warriors, right? They gave him shelter, gave him food, but left him in the morning. And they moved on. Cask then made way to Ford and hid out in bakery. Peg Liquor gave him shelter. Peg Liquor is the individual who owns the bakery. So Cask knew that these people are here somewhere in the forest and just like led you in here to get away. Which I'm surprised that you all went along with Cask, to be honest with you. I was very surprised by that. Everyone, I think, was really just kind of still getting into it. Was like, "Whoa, okay, let's just go." And yeah,
sometimes you just gotta follow an idiot into the woods.
Sometimes you gotta follow an idiot into the woods, and
ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Yeah, and so
worst case, we gotta kill some people,
or Gilga was gonna make decisions for us again.
Yeah, worst case, he was gonna charge into the encampment. So
yeah. So we are now here in referred to as a on the map is called the Tolak settlement. This is a Grey Mato settlement. This is a tribe of barbarians and slight druids, essentially a circle of land and plains and forest, right? So they are a nomadic people, and courtesy of the story that the sage has stated is that this side of their people are separated from their main village in a different part of Ismar. And that's just across the river. So when they were talking about this story, they talked about how you all needed something. They couldn't exactly know who it was because they couldn't see you. And they actually couldn't even see what it was. But they inferred based on what their observations was from the flames. The sage has looking at divination properties and natural magic, and being able to look and seeing the details that weren't there as clues to what was needed. And so when you all got here, they inferred that you all were the ones in search of that because they could not see you. So they inferred that Chief Tall Tree, the chief of the Grey Mato, actually has a stone in the amulet. And that is just across the river on the other side in that forest. And the forest, in terms of a name for that forest, these people call it something different than what the actual battle map calls it. So you can take any which name you wish to use in that one. But they refer to as the Ganiha. That's that forest over there. Which, if you look at the Clan Gilgal battle map, that referred to as the Gentle Wood. Okay. So there's just different names for the same things because these people don't interact with each other. They're separated out. And now through Clan Gilgal actions, they're getting inflicted against each other. So the sage has told you all that this chief and their people actually raid and they take ambush against the dwarves, probably for harvesting timber and trees for their siege weaponry, and on the road stealing supplies. Maybe even has refugees that they've saved. But they're on the other side, and these people can't get there. They don't have the powers. They don't have flight, right? And they don't want to go across this giant bridge that's many miles wide, occupied by Clan Gilgal dwarfs and their encampments. Because they are a small people. They're Clan Gilgal's many. So that is really it. There is nothing else at all in terms of what you all intended to do today, which was get across the river and get that stone. Then after getting that stone, you were going to make way into the foothills, the northern Eastmore foothills, find that orc known as Ukar. So that was the two things there. The third thing that was kind of swept was the Golworm Iron Forge in the Loktha and the Castigue. So those. I'm not going to recap that part because that's not relevant today in terms of what you all want to talk. Is there any questions on all that? That's a huge recap, lots of talking, but I hope that I was slow and it makes sense now. Okay.
I feel much
I have
better.
heads shaking, but I don't have. Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Got it. Go get rock across the river.
Okay. So right now you are in the settlement. You have a fire here in front of you, and you have Cask. Cask is a refugee, so they're just kind of chilling, hanging out. The night is beginning to fall. You have campfires lit outside, so they are warriors moving about. And the sage has proclaimed that they will be looking to the spirits, and they will be returning in the morning. Give you the longhouse here for rest for yourselves. And perhaps they will get guidance through the night in their respective places. I have made Gilga's token in Viz, as well as Wingsung's token in Viz, and then I will control Gilga in combat if necessary.
It's always great when you do.
And scene.
Woo!
So how do you guys intend to cross a river?
Can you just keep running really fast until it parts?
I can.
Didn't we already figure this out with Thothing?
Yeah.
I should remind everyone that I can walk on water and make others walk on water.
You can too?
I didn't forget.
I remember because we
Happened before.
we already had a river and a dead forest, so
Or,
That's right.
we could go about the Longabout way and go find a boat to rent again.
no.
And then potentially steal and or gift to some halflings.
It's really a forced gift at the end of that, but
Whoever gets the boat first.
Wins, yeah.
It became a contest.
Yeah. I'm not deciding. They're deciding.
Who really wants it more? We are going across the river first, right?
Yeah, I think we determined that getting the stones was the priority
I think so. I think so.
before we decide to start some sort of rebellion and overthrow a government.
Before we coup.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for a good coup in the right situation. I'd rather go kill a tree god though,
That is still on the list, I think.
Yeah, let's go do that.
We're pretty far away, Paz.
That's quite a trip to get to the tree god.
We'll circle back. We will.
We'll circle. Yeah, we'll. That's on the victory lap after we take out the Tinkerer.
I take out the Tinker, gotta save the world, and then we'll go kill a tree god.
Yeah, I don't think we want to piss off the blood god.
At this point, though, we've fully interacted with 3 different gods.
It's just blood.
3 for y'all.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
What are we-
anyway.
What are we counting? I mean, also what counts as a god, you know?
Well,
I mean, there's been mysterious voices.
Don't think that.
those weren't gods. Again,
Well,
that was,
Several of those.
It may have
You
been,
don't
you did
know.
try to cut my heart out. That seems like something a god would want.
Never happened.
no, it does. We have been very cavalier about voices, so maybe actually.
You're sure it's a god, not just someone who's really powerful.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
yeah.
know,
What's the
like, you know,
difference?
thing.
Like,
I feel like
a
that's
god's
what
all
makes you.
perspective. Yeah, it's.
I
If you
don't
have
know. I
worshippers, you're a
don't know.
god.
I don't know who it was. So
Well, at least you're finally admitting that it happened. You know, baby.
no, I
step.
meant when
Stop
he picked up
gaslighting
the,
me.
when he picked up the axe and he heard the voices. I don't.
We
I
solved
don't
that
know what
problem.
you're talking about.
That one's fine.
Yeah, that's longer an issue.
I
Yeah,
also
that could've
solved
been a
the other
god.
one because I burnt that book.
Oh, the cabbage book.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
don't know why you did that. We could
Because you tried to cut my heart out.
You keep saying that, and it keeps
Yeah, and
sounding
the
less and less
rest
true
of
every
people
time you do.
here agree with
Lad,
me.
it's how I met the lot of you. Alright? It's the first thing I ever saw you do.
This sounds a lot like you're cahooting against me.
Uh-huh.
That's
Uh-huh.
so great.
And there was Pelor. I mean, granted, that was just me, but you know,
Oh, true. It was just you, though.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't talk to trees.
no, not the tree. Pelor himself. The trees.
What was the
less
difference between
possible.
talking to the tree and Palor? Well, there were 2 trees. There was a tree of Palor, and then there was the
And
tree
there was that.
in
Yeah,
the druid place or whatever.
right. The tree came from Pelor,
Uh-huh.
and the tree
But
is an
then you
entity of
talk
itself.
to Palor through the tree.
No, I talked to Pelor in a different way. There's a thing under the cathedral called the sundial.
Oh,
That was sort
a
of a way
dial.
of, it had a sort of an opening to Pelor, and that's I stepped on it, and he decided to let me in and talk. However, that is not an option right now, thanks to certain events, certain items that people spend considerable quantities of gold on.
I tried
Right?
to say it wasn't worth it the first time.
Eh. You live and you learn. I think it was probably good it didn't go in my body, but again,
Hey,
So,
in fact,
we're
if there's
gonna get
anything
the
that should be fighting whatever that was, it probably should be a god.
again, at this point, we've got plenty to choose from.
Look, I can make us walk across the water,
Hmm?
and we'll find a stone tomorrow. And figure
and
out
then
where
we're gonna
to
go
from
fight
there.
an orc for another one. Have we decided who's fighting this orc?
I don't think we decided that one.
Okay, we're gonna get to that bridge when we get there. I don't-
We're gonna get to that bridge. when we
Sorry,
get there.
planning's not our strong suit. I should remember
I
that.
just think that we're gonna have a really bad time if one of us faces them head on, but that is also the only thing they honor.
Yeah.
But if they're you have to be alive to be offended, but it would also be better maybe not to. We're working through a lot of options.
I mean, in my mind, it's you or Paz.
How amazing would it be if it was Paz?
I'm best not
mean-
being the focus of combat, but
I feel like you could do some damage though.
I mean, do we really need to fight him? Maybe we just try and scare him.
We did float the idea of talking to him. I'm not entirely convinced.
I mean,
that
I
don't-
would assume we would try to talk to him, but
I don't think I could
the
scare
more
an orc.
likely scenario seems like we're gonna have to end up challenging him for the sword.
it's highly, highly likely. Yes.
I mean, I'll do it, but Paz is the self-proclaimed master of combat.
I am. It's not self-proclaimed. It's
So
a
I
title.
didn't want to hurt his ego. Since
It's a
apparently
title
I've
that
hurt
no
him
one's been
enough.
able to take from me. So yes. Like the Duke of Harrock, which I lost. This I
You
get
did
to
lose
be.
that title. You never
did.
had it, but you lost it.
I did. I had it when I lost the ring.
You were the only one. You and Gilgo were the only ones that called you that.
Exactly.
So if I get myself and Nair to call me a god, does that make me a god?
If you have a ring from a god, yes, yes, you do. Like I was
Mhm.
also a captain the watch in What's Its Town when the dude gave me his badge. I had to retire from that. I'm
Just start calling you
saying,
Paz of the mini titles.
I wear a lot of hats. None of them stay though.
Except for
Except the
Master
Master
of
of
Combat.
Combat.
Yeah.
Well,
There
that
it is.
hasn't been taken from me yet.
Maybe one day.
You just step up whenever you want.
I like you too much to fight you, Paz.
Aw. He admitted it. Told you you'd say it.
Look, see, and all it took was fighting.
All he really responds to. And money.
That's just my job.
All right.
Don't care about the money.
We also had to contend with the fact there's a lot of dwarf encampments along the way.
Well,
Comfortable.
let's just not draw attention to ourselves like purchasing a table and setting it up to drink beer in the middle of a shopping center.
Well, I think the more pressing issue would be that to avoid them, we're in an area that nobody here knows.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to cross a river and then what? Walk to the biggest tower we see.
Yeah, there are
Hope for
less
the best.
convenient towers this one, but I think that our current trajectory of just continuing to move has gone well so far.
I mean, I'm not hating the straight line path. Just,
I mean, it's either that or we go for the coup option and start taking out encampment after encampment.
That's still possible.
Sounds like a lot of work. It'll take a lot of time.
Yeah.
that's subterfuge.
We generally fail at that.
Yeah, we really do suck at that.
I'm pretty good at it, but it generally goes poorly afterwards. When someone got caught by rangers and I got shot like 35 times.
That did happen.
The getting
actually.
shot 35 times was
did
not. But yes,
That
you
was
sure did.
that was
That was your
that was
fault.
really something, actually.
That was your fault.
That's because you forgot our rules.
My bad for trying to protect you.
Don't. I mean, I think I would have fared.
I'll
better.
start fighting more solo. It's okay. I get a hint received, Paz.
I think you need me to protect you while you kill faster than I can. Stick to the plan.
As is spoken.
You're making the plans now?
I mean, I thought that was always the plan. We utilize your ability to hurt things while they're not looking, and I utilize my ability as a master of combat to just avoid taking it. Is that not always the plan?
Yeah, I never really
Oh.
thought about it that in depth.
Well, it worked a while.
Don't really work with other people normally. Still getting used to it.
Anyway, are we leaving now or are we going to stay?
I think we should go.
I think some of us need to sleep
Mm,
first.
it's fair, actually.
Okay.
So you're all just getting a rest.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So finding some space here in the longhouse, Casca is doing the same. You all have your backpacks, and if you have your supplies and things, you're pulling them out to get your bedroll out. Right, there's leathers here and other sorts of scraps and not such. So you can kind of make yourself a bed if you'd like, but of course you have your bedroll. One thing I do want to remind is that your stagecoach, particularly of Gilga's stagecoach, and then the wagon, both of those are back at Ford. Now, with our intention for Wingsong, that wagon, Fred, that will not be a factor for transportation of the party. So it'll just be Gilga's stagecoach at that point. Leaving it there in Forg with the mules and such, there wasn't really a plan of where that was going to where that was going to go, where that was going to be stashed and things. So perhaps Gilga's good nature with the table and chairs, the furniture merchant, might go a little bit of ways, and we'll stash it and hold on to it, keep it
Oh,
safe.
that would be nice.
That would be nice, huh? We'll see what happens.
There's also, for what it's worth, the Tavern on Wheels good nature with Thotheg when it comes to.
Well, that's. But you also gave coin to the individuals with the Mazer leg there, those representatives, those people who are selling the brew. So they also can
And the
recognize that
people
you-
with the brew weren't totally ripping us off.
and they weren't totally ripping you off. So just by having allies in a community like setting such as Ford might actually pay off in terms of keeping your stagecoach.
Pro
So
those financial interactions. Con dooming the bakery.
dooming the bakery. So we're now going to go through a long rest here. You're setting yourselves down. There is corn husks and things so you can keep the fire lit to keep it warm. It is cold. It's going to drop down into freezing temperatures overnight, and then it warms up in the morning. So
I haven't
Go ahead
given
and-
up my bear skin.
I'm going to advance the block here for you all.
Feels
Give
great.
another
That's
little error for the simple calendar. I'll be going through modules this week, doing updates and changes and things. So hopefully that's the last time we'll see that error, and there's a couple other bugs and things. We'll just keep track of. Hopefully I can get to it this week and set those things up. Now, Cask is resting themselves here. They are continuing to rest and to sleep, to take part with you all here in terms of that rest. And when they wake up, they're really just kind of grabbing some food that's around. They're kind of eating it and things, and they're really just waiting on all of you in terms of what you are going to do.
Yeah. Well, do we want to handle Happy before we set out?
That's what you all intend. So, in the
I don't know
morning
if I
here-
speak for the group. I just
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So in the morning here, you can see that Wingsong is packing up their stuff, getting them kind of put back away a little bit more quickly than all of you. As they pack up their things, they begin to look in the direction of the exit before they turn around and they face. Everyone, I have, ever since Sut left, I have felt just needing to go and help them. We spent so much time together before we met all of you, and I'm going to join them on their journey, see if I can catch up with them. Wish you all good luck. And if you could run into Baxter, tell him hey. Maybe I'll see you again. Thank you so
Maybe.
much.
maybe bring Soot back if you can.
Maybe I'll help them come back to you. We'll see. And they shake their head, grabbing their stuff, they begin to depart, leaving headed back to Ford. At this point, a few minutes pass by. Sage returns, pushing past some of the leaves strewn together to make a door here. They then shut. Begin to walk over to the fire. Get some more life. Sitting themselves down. To all of you, from left to right, I have spoken. Spirits of bear, that of the moon and of that of the wind, tell me that hunt is to begin. And I looked into this hunt, and I asked them, who is it that would be hunted? Those that they could not see. I suggest you be wary in your travels. Dragon flies overhead during the day. Rests only little at night. It hunts in this wood and the other. It is you all that are to be hunted. Then it could be the dragon that hunts you.
Yeah, we're used to that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, but we don't want to get caught walking across a river
No,
by a dragon.
not the ideal time. We'll be careful.
Our warriors have faced this dragon, and none of which could deal a blow against its scale. There is magic, riddled in evil. The looks of all of your faces, it seems that you all know this.
Not our first dragon.
No, not our first time dealing with this particular evil.
Then you may eat breakfast if you wish. Fires are lit outside as well. Fresh fish caught early in the morning before you woke, as well as the meats of several animals. You're more than welcome to go and help yourself to them before you leave.
Thank you.
Are you all able to make your way out of the forest yourselves? Shall I find Elder Redcloud?
That would be immensely helpful if you could do that.
Of course. Pick themselves up. Need to move away. After a little bit of time. 20 minutes or so. Eventually they return alongside the same elder. I have told Elder Red Cloud of your journey. They will take you as far as to the side of the river, or to the edge of the forest, whatever it is that you wish, along with a small group of warriors. I will stay here with the tribe, and we will be moving. What you see here and where you find here will not be here when you return.
It's all right. We're kind of on a forward trajectory. Thank you for all the help.
Of course. May you find peace and refuge, the spirit of the bear. Go and make haste. You see Elder pushes back, steps out, holds the vine leaf door, vaulted apart.
Thank you for your hospitality.
It's the head. See his cask begins to pick themselves up, going towards the door. Am I supposed to be going with you? What am I supposed to do?
Maybe you stick with this tribe for a little while till you can get to maybe a safer location, or we're not safe. This is the end of us being a safe choice.
Aye. Things
All
gonna
right.
get a little hairy from here on out for us, anyway.
Enjoy the wilds.
What are your survival skills?
Okay. Well, I suppose I'll stay with looks towards the elder stares down with them. And maybe we'll find more refugees.
Yeah.
Ally with them, I suppose. Thank you for saving me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Right thing to do.
And until we meet again.
Take care.
Yes. The weapons strike true to the heart. That is more than always says. Passes back into the longhouse.
Shit. Did we lose our messenger? How far
That guy
back?
was still following us.
How far back
Marcus?
did we lose him? Did we leave
You
him at the old mill?
you left
Never.
him at the Woody Tower.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was
Okay,
just
at
gonna
least
say he didn't come
It's a
with
relatively
us.
safe spot.
Oh well,
Yeah.
yeah. They're
Yeah,
all
I
nice
mean,
there.
They're pretty much they're like what would impede them on their travels is done. I mean, that was 4 flatliners. So
Nice.
technically,
Nice.
now that you got them in, as long as they don't get caught up by like Gogol soldiers, they should be fine.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, let's eat a very quick breakfast and get going.
you may help yourselves. Points to smoke spits that are put up. Smoked fish. Warriors sitting eating breakfast. Holds the arms and just stares at you as you begin to consume your food.
The watching part's a lot. It's yeah, especially with the watching. Let's just do this quickly and go.
You're all like,
Great.
see Red Cloud just staring.
Never been more aware of my chewing before.
What's the appropriate amount of time to chew?
I feel weird about it.
You choose before you can swallow what you.
So coming and sitting down by the fires, you see the warriors, as well as sages, offering their seats and also pulling more of the logs and things that they've cut for seats to pull them up nearby. They also have baskets of berries and other sorts of foods that they're able to forage, offer those to you as well for you to eat. It's a very communal way of eating. They also don't talk while they eat. So that's more of a little bit to you where you're just kind of shoveling the food in because no one's talking at all. And then you have the eyes of Red Cloud just waiting.
Wow, it's worse because
for
he's
you.
not eating.
Yeah, it's worse than just standing there.
It's worse that he's not a part of this at all, except for the
Yeah.
staring.
The rest of the world goes
exactly.
dark and he just has glowing eyes staring at us eating.
Yes.
Just glowing eyes staring.
Make him really obvious.
At least we'll always know where he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. That's right. So, at this point, you're able to finish your meals, and then you begin to go with Elder Red Cloud into the direction choosing. Now, put us back onto the map here in terms of where we're going to be heading. And really, it's, how far do you want Elder Red Cloud and 6 of these warriors alongside you all are going to be headed?
As
Control
far
off.
as we can take them, as far as they're willing to go with
Yes,
us.
exactly.
So they're gonna take you to the edge, then across the road here. They're gonna take you to the edge. So the light rain falling down is there. The no thunder, no rumble. That's really nice. And so the clear skies to the last night gave way to rain. Could be a sign that the sage running water had kind of declared the hunt is beginning. Perhaps this weather is a sign of that. Clear. So you're making way into through the forest. Hours pass by in this journey, as they did before on your hike. You notice as the elders, as well as the warriors, are kind of in like a half run. They're not hiking; they're like running. And as they're moving through, you're having to like shuffle and keep the pace, and that becomes difficult for you because you are a heavily armored dwarf that's slower than these humans. And so you're having to really run to keep up and just huffle for several hours. Eventually getting to the edge of the forest begins to become more sparse with these orangish red trees, as well as low shrubbery, leaf shrubs of yellow and red, as well as red rocks and protrusions of these natural formations of cover and divots, just like that kind of underground, a little bit of that kind of land where you encountered the Grey Monteau. So you get to this edge and you stare off, and it's at this point that you actually can see the bridges and you can see the encampments and the movements and shadows because it's daylight, and all of this is higher up to the flat land where the edge of the river is. And so I'm actually going to bring those maps in here, and I want to have you all look at, because I think one of the biggest things here is just understanding the scale of what this is. And I think it's tough because you have to. I try to theater of mind for you to try to understand it, but I've seen based on that, trying to wrap your heads around understand it becomes difficult, right? I've seen it.
Seen it's not working.
It's not that it's not working. It's just that it's a tough one to get because it's not really falling in the lines of realistic things. So because this is a massive thing. So I'm going to drag your tokens down just onto where the road would be headed here. And I've removed all of the actual enemy tokens. So you wouldn't know where their positions are because you're too far away anyways to get an understanding of the shadows of where they really are in the encampment. Okay? But this is more or less for just the visual understanding. I'm going to activate this map. This map is huge. And this might take a little bit to actually load in. So just a forewarning. So this is the western side of Nok Drolok. This is the western side of the Starlight Bridge, that commonly is termed humans and such. And the encampment that is built around actually protects that side of the bridge. Okay? The bridge is massive in its width. It is built out of solid red rock, also in a suspension-like style, and anchors itself into the Ismar River, multiple semi-arch segments. There are towers that stand high up into the air, roughly 25, 30 feet, built of red rock stone of brick, moving. And then there is a shallow, light, kind of red rocked wall that's about 8 feet tall. And that just forms protection of the encampment, but not actually sight, really. You can kind of jump over and see it, right? Tall. There are tents littering within. There's war rams within pens. The towers have ballistas ready to fire.
Oh, I hate those.
And the road splits into two. One going across that bridge and the other one going north to the Crystallic Bridge, or Nukheim. That's a smaller bridge, but albeit the same construction and same width. Smaller in terms of its length. It's only a little, like a couple more miles less than the Ismar River. And New Kayam, that goes to Ilokta. That bridge was used to get to the city, the Clan Drawrill. Still. Okay? So there are wagons here, prisoner wagons, notably. Metal kind of cages on top of them. There's others moving back and forth. There's another encampment just like this one, positioned on the south side of New Camp, right, protecting both sides, right, of the bridges. Now, what's notable about this bridge is that on either side there are siege weapons, massive mangonels, and further into the distance, massive trebuchets. And they are building them and stashing them onto the bridge. Okay? The cliff sides are here at this point about 300 feet to the water level. So that wrapping your heads, just in terms. Again, I want to give you a visual here. You're not here, you're just looking at it from the edge of the forest. So we're going to pull us back here, so that way you get a good understanding of that. So you're bypassing it because you're going to go down. You're going to scale the cliffs to the water, and then you're going to run across the water. That's 6 mile segment, and scale up another 300 some odd feet on the other side. That's what you all are intending to do. Okay?
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool,
How
cool, cool.
steep was the drop?
It's 300 feet to the water
300
level.
feet.
Great.
Want to do more?
It's fine.
Still fall.
Cool.
Slow fall, son.
Okay. So we're now going to go to a new map here. Let's try to get it in order. This one is as easily as big, but it shouldn't. Drag in. I'll activate that to give you some time to load in.
Woo. Oop. Just me and
Same time. Dropping to the
six
other. You're all,
Jason Momoas.
you're all stacked together. You're
Yeah.
all stacked
Oh,
together.
okay.
Yeah, six. I love the Jason Momoa tokens. So I was, I actually had these as top-down tokens, but they actually were really hard to see them in the midst of the trees.
Mhm.
So I went to a portrait token really fast with some art I could dig out. So yeah, they do look a lot like Jason Momoa.
Gotta say, I've zoomed in now, and I was wrong. There, he is significantly prettier.
So you have bypassed that encampment, and that's to your north side, many miles to the north. Okay, you've worked through a series of smaller foothills, and now you're onto a low planed area where there is cacti, small, like little shrubbery vegetation moving. The ground itself has lightish grass that also feeds into cracked earth, dirt. Not a lot of stuff grows out here. It's not like real like soil that you could bury things in. It's more like rock here, and you can see the river in the distance with the cliffside falling down. But it's at this point I need everyone to roll perceptions.
Great. My specialty. I love that I specifically got like proficiency in it just for it to still never be good for me.
We also need the wisdom skill behind it.
I'm still too dumb for it to be helpful.
Yeah. Gotta get those
Not
ASIs.
proficient.
I'm like, don't worry, guys. I've got this. Never
Mm-hmm.
a single time ever have I ever had it.
Okay. So coming across other perceptions here, 28, 19, 14, 13. So the perception really here is looking from left to right. You know, you have Forg now really directly to your west through those little bit of foothills that separate this place from Forg. The encampment, you can't see that encampment that is occupying Forg, but you can see the two bridges. You can see it expanding across. You can see the encampment. And so you're spanning from left to right. The gentle wood, those large evergreen trees on the other side, and then the massive, impressive northern Missouri foothills are to the south of that, just crawling and growing itself. So you're very low end at this present moment. And you all observe that there is a flying object in the air, coasting, high altitude, many, many miles in the air.
You know, an object.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're staring at it, Paz, Dothig, you're very sure that that is a silver dragon.
Shock.
Great.
It's
No,
difficult
we're
to
not
tell
seeing-
how far away it is from you, even with those perceptions, because in terms of how high this dragon is flying, it's dozens of miles. So you're just like staring at this little blip, the overcast of the sky as it softly falls down.
You're gonna say I'm just staring at the sun. A very odd point.
Tracks.
There be
Tracks.
dragons and then there's skies.
It's not coming for us, but our friend is flying around out there.
Well, pros and cons. We know where he is.
Uh-huh.
The con is he's here.
Just hope he doesn't realize we're here. This could get very interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Not many places to hide.
yep. Kind of just grasslands.
We just disguise ourselves as grass.
I am now grass. That will be convincing on account of all the metal sounds I make.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta dirty up the armor, you know. Kill
all
the
it takes.
reflections.
Put enough mud in there, it's fine.
No,
Get a little bit in there.
pack a little dirt on it, you know, dull the finish a bit.
I can't. Listen, I haven't done a good job of cleaning blood off it, so we're fine on that count.
I'm just assuming the river will drown out all sounds.
We gotta get to the river. We gotta
Yeah,
get-
that's
we
the
have to
first
get to the river.
problem.
I mean, I can run really fast.
Yeah. You sure can. All right, let's just remember that those ballistas suck.
I think we might be out of the range.
Yeah. But we gotta get over there, which unfortunately I think does fall in their range.
The encampment, the north side, right, of the western side of Starlight Bridge, that encampment of Clan Kilgore that I showed you on that previous map, that is at least 7 miles away from you right now.
That's
Oh,
ways
yeah.
away from us.
So you are
Love that.
far away from it. The elder
Love
would
that.
not take you in range of those ballista,
No.
and they navigate this place. They know how to move through, and they're very stealthy in how they move through across the road.
They need
issue-
artillery to hit us.
Yeah, the issue is being out in the open and across 6 miles of water, out in the complete open against a dragon that just flies in the air, surveying.
Honestly, we can only do one problem at a time. I don't think that we can get across the river and also not be noticeable. But if anyone has any ideas, absolutely hop in.
I mean,
Grass we can do.
would it be a safe bet to say that we're not going to reach these orcs today?
I mean, yeah, can I just clarify really quick? Are we going to the orcs? I thought the orcs were even farther away. Are they closer than we thought?
Well, so the orcs are in the northern foothills. That's on the continent map. That's what is circled on the north hand side. Okay, so I'll pull us back to that, and I'll go through and describe.
Well, I guess my question is just before you describe, is it there's two different locations with two different people who have rocks, or are we all talking about the same person consistently?
These are not orcs that you're accompanying. These are
No.
humans.
Now my question, no. Where are we heading
Two
toward?
different people.
Two different people.
Yeah, there's one people in the
We're up
woods.
here.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
The
the
orcs
that
were
was
here.
the answer. Yeah, that was the answer.
Oh,
to
I thought the
question.
orcs were down here. I thought this
The
was the
orc-
orcs. Are they
Okay.
here? Oh no, they're here.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're
so
gonna people here with a rock, orcs here with a rock. I need it so simplified.
Break it down Barney style.
I don't want, so simple. People rock here, orc rock here. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I'm back in the game. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah. So the orcs part of that is far more complicated because
Right,
you don't
so-
know where they are.
Right.
You don't know obviously where
The disposition.
you don't know where the gray Marteau are in the Gentlewood, but you also know that if you come across them, they're not going to attack you.
Yeah.
So
Although I will say, if someone does start attacking us, we win. We found them. Nailed it.
I guess you can say it that way.
No, but we're so okay. We're gonna go to once we deal with the whole river dragon situation, we're gonna get people rock here, and then we're gonna go deal with the orc rock somewhere over here. I'm in. I'm on it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Got it.
Back in.
Back in. Okay. So bring us back here for visual as well as depending what you all intend to do here. We're gonna have to get some rolls out. Send this
think-
cliff.
Dragon's vision is based on movement. If we just move slowly, it won't recognize us.
We just go so slow.
There's two things. There's two little tricks I could possibly give us to give us a little shortcut. One's a long shot. The other one's not so fast, but it's very helpful if everyone wants me to try.
Listen, go for it.
I mean, I got my own ways, but sure.
I need you to stay here for right now, Paz, just because
Yep, I'm here. I'm not. I'm
okay.
team staying
Because
with
both
the team.
both of these are definitely much faster than ye, even though you are a little.
I'm team stay with the
More
team
like-
for the moment.
I am going to try and use my divine intervention.
Okay.
Let's roll the D100.
And I'm going to punch a dragon.
Oh, nope. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so
Ooh.
using your divine intervention, you're kneeling down, putting out prayer, using your religious items here to try to invoke intervention. Does not seem like a connection is made.
Okay.
I
Then
can't depend on Paylor.
the guy will then look at everyone else and say, all right, so we're not going to a really good shortcut, but would we like the assistance of someone who could fly us across rather quickly?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Thothig is going to pray again. And no, that's longer. I don't know why it says that. But anyway. And going to cast Planar Ally, and I'm going to ask if Pelor can send us a planetar.
Just when did you become like a celestial zookeeper?
Since I hit level 11, it can cast 6-level spells.
It's cool. It's cool. It's a fun new thing.
Summon Celestial is actually 5th level spell, by the way. I just haven't had a chance to cast.
No, this new Thothig that just hangs out. It's great.
So you're trying to summon a planetar and put the planetar in service for a number of gold.
I'm sorry, put it in service for what?
So this spell requires a cost.
If it wants one, yes.
Yeah. So you're trying to call forth a celestial here
Yes.
to get them to fly you across.
Yes.
And you're wondering, you want to know in terms of, let's say.
Well, so since it's vague and it just says a celestial, would you as DM allow Thothig to summon such an ally? And what would it ask for in exchange for help?
Give me 1 second. All right. So you take 10 minutes preparation, throwing off your reagents, trying to see if you can call another planar entity here to try to aid you. You're reaching towards Palor's domain and seeing if they can call forth a celestial, a planetar in terms of service, right? And that's what you're kind of calling for, something to fly you. And your mind goes to the planetar in terms of a flight type celestial. It can move very fast in terms of their wings and things. So as you call down, the clouds begin to slightly move and shift, and there's a funnel of light that kind of crests downwards, and a circular cylinder as it is. This radiant light kind of hits in, very vague, and then becomes more concentrated, eventually scorching the earth slightly out in front. And then a creature appears directly from that funnel of light as it explodes down into the earth. Creature is a large size, roughly 13 to 14 feet high, with this whitish green skin, wings that flow outwards, and golden gauntlets, and circlets upon the hands. Bracelets upon the hands. And then there's other sorts of collar work of gold and other accents, and they have a silk kind of toga and other robe-like attire attached to them, and sandals and things. As they're holding themselves, great sword, commonly wield. Planetars usually have as a great sword. Not even really magical, I don't think. That is currently stashed at the backside from a scabbard. Has celestial runes invoked upon them. Creature looks, folding the wings. At this point, the elder stares back at you and stares back, and then motions. I think we've gone far enough.
Aye. They were there with me. They're not there to you, but we appreciate what you've done for us. Hopefully we see each other again before too long.
Perhaps we will. May move with speed. Looks towards the beam of light that shot from the heavens. They will send a patrol. Most likely. Bends the head, begins to motion for the warriors, and they go in a full run back to the force. Planetar looks. What has a servant and devoted Palor called me for?
Appreciate you coming down. You see that river there? We're looking to get across and try to do a bit of haste. And there's a dragon out there. It hasn't looked our way yet. We're just worried what might happen if it does while we're trying to cross. So just wondering if you could provide any assistance to us. Maybe just hitch a lift or some other way you could help us.
You want me to slay the dragon as well?
No. Oddly enough.
Oh yeah.
Cool if you could.
Could you?
If that's on the table.
It's a good question, but I do not think actually that's where it is for me to say. I don't think it's for you to do. It's for us to do. If that makes any sense.
You are the one who has called me from the domain of your most called deity.
Aye. And all we're asking
And
for
it
is
is not for you are asking me to fly you across.
Aye, that's all we're asking for, sir. Man.
Looks towards that river there.
Aye, that's the one.
That is what you summoned me here for, really.
We thought just in case, too, if the dragon does happen by, it'd be really helpful to have here.
I feel like we called a fighter jet in to walk us across the street. Do you think maybe we should ask him to destroy the fort and distract the dragon that way, like more dramatically?
I think that I don't really want
I just feel like you're going to get your credit dinged with Palor.
I mean, we're paying for it.
See as they take the sword, drawing it out of the scabbard, setting it down as the runes of the sword alight into the ground, forming a slight description of Celestial, they begin to kneel down, lowering their head, muttering Celestial in prayer to Taylor. So they use commune.
Oh. Oh. That's right. That's the spell they have, I think.
The eyes open, holding the sword, sheathing it. It would be advised that I take you, backs of my wings. However, I am only strong by flight. 3 of you.
Well, 3 of us.
Remember, Gilga is with us. So you have 5 people.
So I have 5 of us. Who's? Oh no, it was happy that a polymorph.
Does he have a friend?
No, I can only bring the one.
My service can last for as long as you have coin. Gold is what I require.
Yeah, can't just
And-
make 2 trips.
And an item that you currently are in possession of.
I don't think the gold would be an issue. What's the item you acquire?
Looks down upon your necklace.
I
Oh.
thought I was going to say my ring of invisibility.
Of the devout.
Pat's about to fight a celestial.
For a warrior like me to take back Palor's domain.
This feels like when you ask your older brother to help.
Yeah.
It's like we already called him, so it's like
So things go look at the Planetar, then back at everyone else, back at the Planetar, and back at everyone else again and say, I'm sorry. We're going to have to do this the hard way. And he's going to look back at the Planetar and say, my apologies to both you and Pelor, but I think the amulet's needed here in the world from now. Whatever is happening, I'll be happy to give back to Pelor once all this is over. But right now, the world needs it. I think it's best in my hands. My
You
apologies.
have passed a judgment. I will take you across twice.
did you say twice?
I'm sorry, he says I passed judgment?
Lay down 10,000 gold. I will take you across twice. You may keep the end. You have passed judgment.
This is wild.
Clever. Okay.
Gods.
Thothig will bust out, it'll take a minute, but he'll bust out 10,000 gold and lay it in front of him.
Damn it, every time one of these schemes works, it just means he's going to try it again.
You know, he just gets more sure of it.
More and more payroll first.
As you begin
I really
to
could have
throw the
sworn he
gold
was going to get his
coins
credit dinged.
onto the
I mean,
earth.
I'm glad-
as
I'm
they
glad it's happening.
begin to hold their
Put
hand
it back.
outwards, and the bracelet glows celestial runes, and the gold coins like begin to hover up, and then like are shifted out to a different plane, almost like sucking them up like a vacuum.
Wow. Wow.
The deal has been arranged, and payment has been made. I will take 3, and then I will take 2. Who is to go first?
Well, thought that you're driving.
I'll go.
I'd say, why don't Paz, Varys, and Gilga go first?
Team the 3 quietest.
Yes.
Okay.
And Thothig and Nair will go second.
Got it.
Paz, you said Paz and Nair are going second.
No,
No,
Gothic
Thothig and Nair are going second.
Othic and Nair are going second.
which is not an invitation. It's
Just
just a
asking.
logistical order.
So, this journey, in terms of flight, this creature moves at 120 feet. It's not going to dash unless it needs to. In terms of three of you as well, this is difficult for it, so its speed is reduced by half. Strength score of this creature is only 24, and it's only large. So holding on to 3 here with a small, so it's 2 plus the small size, that it gets it to a difficult in terms of what it can carry. Okay, so has the great sword into the scabbard, and then has Paz, you are kind of roped onto the shoulder. Okay, you're holding on some of the actual golden necklaces and the circles that it has, and then you have Varys and Gilga, and clutching onto the arms as it kind of like ropes, kind of hugs you into the chest, right? It's you to the chest, like holding on to you, like a child. You know, you're like a child you got to take out for a tantrum, you know, just kind of grabbing onto him, and it begins to fly you across. Now at 60 feet, you're moving, and you are wind howling in this gorge, right? So the wind is just pushing past and it's howling across the gorge, and it's just causing a lot of distortion with terms of your perception. And you're looking and you're keeping your eyes, and the creature takes you across the river and then places you into the gentle wood. The gentle wood, the trees on this side of the river grow all the way to the edge, and they actually creep out across the red rock, like growing horizontally out of the red rock towards the river, right? As the seeds can spill over. So you're in cover at this point. The trees, and there's shrubbery growing small to even tall in terms of its size comparison to a medium humanoid. And you kind of get yourself in there, right? And just kind of set yourselves up, maybe even getting underneath some cover for the rain that's kind of coming down. Because in terms of this journey, 6 miles, I'm going to calculate it. I didn't think I would, but I'm going to. Let's see how many. I'm gonna do this right now. Okay. Now,
I also don't know how badly I just want to start talking to the celestial
okay,
thing.
it's gonna take. It should take about, I think, 90. Let's say 9 minutes. Let's see. Do that right. Do it real quick. You can talk to the player if you want. But you're this is a long time.
For the sake of
Don't do
getting
it.
it done with, I'm not. I had nothing really to ask it.
I cannot imagine it being a good conversationalist.
Want to ask it what it's like on the celestial plane and stuff. That's all I was gonna do.
Yeah, so this is gonna be. I think it's gonna be about 90 some odd minutes here. This creature's gonna take to get across. Not too much time. It's not exactly 6 miles, actually greater than that in terms of its distance. So I had to measure that out in terms of flight as well as it not pushing too much with the wind and these other things. So I think 90 minutes is pretty solid here. Advance the time clock. Okay, and then that has to take in terms of it's going to cut the time in half on its way back. So it's setting, the Planetary sets you all down to the other side. The Planetary then is going to fly across the river and then pick up Naira and Dante. Okay, so I'm going to advance the time. It's at this point we get to the afternoon. Nair and Thothig, you have gone over the cliffside here. You're now a quarter of the way across the Easmar River. As Gilga and Varys, from your place in the woods, keeping your perceptions alert. Thothig, Naira, you're doing the best you can as well, but the wind howling is difficult. and your eyes and things are shoved downwards. You're looking from left to right. And you both of you to roll perceptions.
Ah, yes, we're back at my specialty, the thing that I am really good at.
Oh, jeez.
Perception.
Advantage did I roll that?
I think you can get better than a 9, I believe.
I go.
Much better.
Woo! This time I got an 11.
Who's perceptive now?
Woo woo, looks like I've got keen eyes now. Just needed some wind to help me focus.
Just need crap in it.
I just realized there was too much outside stimulus. Turns out my character has ADHD too.
Wow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Art imitates life.
Or is it the other way around?
It's probably the other way around. It's probably fully narcissism. What I see better not be a fucking dragon,
So,
sir.
Thothic, you don't see anything.
Nope.
It's too difficult to tell with the 9. There, with the 17, it does appear that there is some object flying towards you at a very
I
quickened
swear
pace.
to God, if you say object one more time.
As you,
Swear to God.
as you stare at it, it looks like a silver dragon. It's about
Well, you know, if
300 feet coming in a shallow dive over your head. You and the Planetar and Thothic.
It looks like a dragon, acts like a dragon, and I'm sure shortly will sound like a dragon. It's probably a dragon. I
What?
just,
What?
I elbow Thothic and just point.
How for fart's sake.
Yeah, you're gonna need this dude to fight that. That's got to be in the deal.
Oh man, that's gonna be a lot more gold.
Aye.
Listen, this is why we're rich. Come on.
Fred, we get to the other side, or maybe beforehand, we will need you, maybe perhaps to help us with a fight. Our friend the dragon's nearby.
Yeah, that whole ass dragon's coming. Hope you put your fighting pants on. You definitely didn't put your public transit pants on, so.
So,
When the hell
as
did
you
we find
say
out his name is
this
Fred?
to the Planetar actually speaks to you telepathically. I'm not using words at this point with the wind causing problems. Your voice rings out. The dragon moves on us. Turns and looks upwards and sees it. What do you want me to do?
Put us down so gently and fight him.
We'll be joining you, but if you just set us down, we'll all go after it.
We'll fight from down there.
Okay. So,
I haven't been practicing my midair swing.
you're practicing your midair swing.
It's fucked up. You could have just let us leave with our giant planetar creature without anything.
All right,
That's
Varys,
gonna end up
Paz, do you
costing
want,
us more money.
do you
What
want to
was
see
so
it?
noticeable about a giant planetar creature? Jeez.
Yeah, sure.
I'll put your,
Running
I'll
a
put your
bus
tokens
system.
down.
Sure.
You use one celestial bus, and then suddenly it all comes crashing down. It's fucked up.
Damn it, we didn't thank the bus driver, Ferris.
Damn, I always forget.
No, is
So-
this water or land? Because it looks a lot like
you're-
water.
So you're flying 300 feet above the water level. Okay. The Planetar is moving at a quickened pace as fast as it can to dash to lower you down to the water. The dragon is coming in like a missile. It is moving extremely fast in terms of coming downwards at an angle from your backside now as it's coming down and moving and approaching. Sees the Planetar sets you down, and you are now in visible range in terms of the dragon. So you turn around onto the water. Sees the Planetar sets you down. I'm going to go ahead and put a distance in terms of elevation the dragon is.
Was there any time for Thothic to make us able to walk on water? Because that would be swell.
Get
I
one
gotta be honest,
action.
I'm not swinging well in the water.
You're on the side. Yeah, I mean, the way down.
You
so
get
I think-
you have one round before we roll initiatives. So you tell me what you want to do.
It's that or you fist bump me or both. I don't know.
Nope. So I think since we're getting end up on the water,
Yep.
let me get my targeting on. So I think we'll cast Water Walk on the two of us.
Swear to God, Michael, if
Because
you
the
make
other
this
two are
water
probably
run,
aren't within
I'm gonna be
30
so
feet.
mad at you.
Well, they're on the other side.
Yeah.
I've been narrating that. So you all are you are just you two here. Okay, Gilga,
Right.
Paz, and Veros got carted to the other side as you
Right,
requested.
Right.
Yep.
And then
We're
the
miles
Planter came
away.
back and
I
then
knew.
took you.
I knew the
you're
moment you said it.
miles away. You're a quarter of the journey there. You literally are a quarter of the way to the other
The
side.
moment,
Yeah.
the moment he's
Okay.
like, "Oh, it's you two, cool."
Yeah. So this again, I've set the stage here. The Planetary is setting you down. Use your water walk. You can take your movements again. It's a full round that you can take here because the Planetary is turning around, grabbing their sword out of the scabbard at this point, just above, hovering over the water level, is turning at the dragon. The dragon has the wings folded down, and its
Right,
head
right,
is like a missile as it's shooting down towards all three of you.
It's fine.
Right.
It's great. Awesome. Great. It's fine. I've seen Fast and Furious. We can grab it and redirect it. It's fine.
Yes, family.
Family,
So-
guys.
You're
We're
on the
on
water.
that side.
The current of this, there's little slight waves from the wind, and it's tough. Like these winds are kind of rolling and shoving themselves over. This is like the Columbia River in Oregon in terms of the gorge, right? So the winds are just shoving, making these swells, and so you're kind of like running over them, right? And so you begin to move. Go ahead and make your movements.
Great. Parkour. Okay. Okay. Okay.
You both gonna move.
I mean, no, I'm gonna stay and hang out with the dragon.
So
That's
there,
it.
you're gonna dash. Thothic used your action for water walk, right? So in
Yeah, I
terms
did.
Of
I'm
that?
just checking
Yeah.
something here.
So Dyer's gonna leave you running
Yeah.
to dash.
All right.
Um,
Do you want me to shoot it first? Not super thrilled.
So the dragon right now is about 85 feet in the air, backsides.
Bet.
When we started our initiative.
Actually,
Okay,
I'm
85
going
feet
to
in the
go-
air, and then oh, that's not what I want to do.
Because it's probably aiming for the celestial, so I'm just going to back away a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's like,
Just a little
good like
bit.
fucking run.
It's a missile. So wait,
you
it's
know what sucked?
it's-
The dragon went after him.
if the dragon went after him. Wouldn't that be so silly, guys?
Is that your
wouldn't be so
template, Nara?
silly?
Actually, no.
Definitely was an accident, and then it didn't go away, which
Got
that's
it.
where
Oh.
we're at.
Okay.
You ever just put
Okay.
something down thinking it'll leave and it never does?
So Thothic, I have you moving a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So wait, is it 85 or is it 85 plus distance?
It's 85 feet in the air plus the distance. The token is on the board. It's been revealed to
Okay.
you both.
I know. I'm scared to put
It's roughly
the ruler down.
190 feet from the planetary right now.
Okay. So it's like 170 feet away.
190 feet from the planetary and then 85 feet up. So it's greater than 200.
Oh, you said 190. Okay.
Yeah, 190 away and then
190.
85 up.
Nailed it. Awesome. Well,
It's
that's
far-
too far
it's-
for me to
it's-
do
Yeah.
anything. I thought that much love. I'm not standing next to this thing.
Okay.
I'm not standing next to it as it gets full on. All right, hold on. Oh, I've just realized why everything looked wrong. Okay. Okay, that's my full movement and action. I can, if I bonus action dash, is that another 30?
Yeah. You can go 60 feet right now if you wish to.
I did 60, but I can go another 30 if I
So
use
you
my
go
move.
So your
Oh,
movement
no,
is your movement's 30 feet and your action's a dash, so you can do
Got it,
60
got it.
feet in this round.
I did 60 feet. That's what I did.
Thothic, are you moving anything else, or are you just going to stand there?
I'm staying here.
Okay. I need you both to roll initiatives, please.
Great,
Alright.
great. You really wanted to be that close?
Yep.
Cool.
That works.
All right, Heavy Heart, you're up first.
Okay. Gonna move back to 10 feet. Then
Okay.
moved away. Yeah, it's about that. Run up and touch the planetar. Oops, I got a target. And just to help a little more, cast Holy Weapon on sword, even though it already is a holy weapon and all that. We're just giving a couple more d8s to roll.
Okay, so you're going to give it 48
Uh,
to 2d8.
it gives an extra 2d8. I don't know why it does that when I cast it, but
Fine.
and then oops, on target. There we go.
Okay.
And I will enter in there.
All right. So we come to the
Couldn't have rolled
Planetar's.
lower.
We come to the Planetar's turn. Planetar has the holy weapon, and they have the sword outwards. They throw their sword up for a little bit. There's actually a strike of lightning onto the blade, and it begins to alight as their angelic weapon is used upon their just native greatsword here. And they begin to turn the direction of the dragon, and they look back to you, Thothig. The price will need to be paid eventually.
No, all over it.
And they begin to fly, moving 80 feet forward, and then they're going to be taking 80 feet here to go up. That's a total of 160 that they've gone. They're taking a dash at that point, and then they're using their remaining 240 feet. That's another 80 feet to make way in the direction of the creature.
What?
This creature, the Planetar moves extremely fast when it's not loaded.
Yeah.
When it's not holding a bunch of
That's
people.
why
It's not
picked the play.
it's not a strong creature. That's the problem. Yeah, it's a fast creature, but
Fast
it's not
creature.
strong.
Not very strong.
It doesn't have the strength to carry two heavily
I hope it's-
armored things. So it's taking flight. It's running in the direction of the dragon. So now both the dragon and the Planetar are at the same distance. The Planetar had to dash to make that, just really trying to intercept. And then we come to the dragon. Dragon, flying like a missile, comes into the Planetar point blank range and then opens up its mouth. As it does, it begins to let out a cold breath at the Planetar. As it shoots out at the Planetar is going to succeed and takes 44 points of cold damage on a success. As it sheds outwards that amount of cold, then the dragon continues its movement, which is 80 feet past the Planetar. Planetar gets a attack of opportunity here against the creature. Planetar is going to swing the great sword from around the wings, pulling past and come through. Lands a natural 1, the first strike.
Fuck, jeez.
Wow.
As the dragon flying past them, the velocity of the wings, this Planetar comes back to swing at it and is brushed back and is unable to catch. And the dragon kind of flutters for a brief moment and continues to push its wings in the direction of all of you. You see
Great.
that it lets out a slight roar up into the air. And as it does so, the waves get slightly more aggressive as the wind begins to churn. Era, you're up next.
Awesome. So good.
Are you both continuing to move? Are you both continuing to
My
run?
friends are both of
Yes.
my friends are over there, and I am not a celestial, so
Yes.
All I need to ask is if both of you are going to move. This is going to be a little bit unorthodox, but this dragon moves extremely fast in comparison to all of you. So without further ado, putting an animation to the tile.
rude.
Oh,
I don't need you to move your tokens anymore. I'm gonna have you in relation position to the movement of the tile and the token, the tile underneath you. So you're running across. Probably have it a little going too fast, but it's funny anyways to see how fast
it's
it moves
hilarious.
of all of you. So Thothig, you're gonna be moving slower than Naira, so I'll be moving your both tokens in relation to each other as you're continuing to run. But for now, don't move your tokens because everything's pretty relative. Okay, so you're pretty relative to each other in terms of distance. This dragon, I will adjust their position relative to where you're going. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So Nair, what are you doing?
I am heading toward my friends.
You're just full dashing
I mean, listen,
4 miles
I am-
right across the water.
I am actively on water, something I can't control myself, as a dragon barrels toward us.
Okay.
I can't imagine a scenario where the better choice is stay here. I genuinely cannot.
Okay.
I'm racking my mind and I'm not coming up with one. It's
Okay.
definitely not this one. I want to at least get a little closer to my friends. I want to be at least, one could say, in range of my friends.
So the 2 tokens that I've placed down for Paz and Varys is just to give them vision of the scene.
How
Paz and
far are
Varys,
they?
they are 4 miles away from
Miles.
you right now.
All right, well. Okay, and the dragon, maybe I'll fire on the dragon. Well, no, it still seems like a bad idea, but here we are.
It's no good idea at this point.
There is no good idea at this point. All right, hold on. Okay, the dragon is still not. Well, I could get closer to Thotheg. I could do that. Well, I will do that. It's at least better to be closer to Thotheg, I think.
Okay. So
Okay.
I will move your token for you in terms of
Right.
getting close to Thothig. So I'm going to have you actually about here in terms of your movement to get closer to Thothig.
Okay. So I've done that. How close has that brought me to the dragon? Am I now in range? Am I in 120 feet, or is it still much higher?
The dragon is still 80 feet into the air.
Okay, so it's still out of range. I'm gonna then. Can I hold my action until it gets closer?
What's the hold action?
What is the action, or what am I holding for?
Yeah, what are you holding for? What's the triggers and stuff?
The second it's in within 120 feet. I'm guessing it has some kind of shield, but the only way I can find out is hitting it. So I'll try Scorching Ray is the one I have. I think that's. I
You're
could
on
do
fire.
Wall of Fire. I could do Wall of Fire, but
You're
or
going to
Fire
hold for.
Wave.
Yeah. Well, Fire Wave is like.
Yeah, expanding out, but
Yeah.
I don't know how Wall of Fire works on top of water. I have not gotten that memo. Okay, well, if it comes within 120 feet, I will use Scorching Ray.
Sounds good.
Does
End
it
your
sound
turn.
good?
Every blank.
It sounds so good.
It sounds like
sounds
an
good.
option
It
you
sounds
could have done.
it sounds like an option you could have done. You've done it. I'm just narrating. I'm not
Great.
trying to do the
I
best
feel
we
really
can
good
for you.
about it.
All right, you're mixed.
So, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear exactly this. Thing's 85 feet in the air. Am I reading that
Correct.
right?
That's
And-
85 feet in the air.
Okay.
And like
it's-
120 feet away, or 115 feet away.
Right.
So it's great.
I
So we're
don't want to lose
about
this
200 feet.
spell slot. Actually, now that Nair is here, this will be a good chance for this one. I'm going to move up next to Nyera. Just somehow get right, hip to hip.
Right, hip to hip. Okay,
Yep.
totally fine because Nara pulled back to you, so you're now hip to hip.
And I'm going to cast this on Nyera.
Right, so you're gonna put a death ward on. Protection
Yes.
from death. First time target drops 0 points. As well as taking damage target instead drops of 1 hit point. Spell ends. Okay.
And end turn there.
All right, end turn. We now come to the Planetar. I'm assuming that you all are moving as well together now. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to have you move. I'm going to actually take your movements and subtract them from the movements that these creatures will do, because both these creatures move faster than you. Okay, Planetar moves actually the fastest in terms of this fight. So the Planetar is going to do minus 50 of what it actually can do. Okay, because that's in terms of where you all. But in relevance to the dragon, it has full movement speed. Okay,
Okay.
so Planetar is going to charge up to get in distance of the creature. It's going to charge up in distance of the creature, and then it begins to invoke magic out at the creature, forming a cylinder in the air above as they throw off a flame strike. They throw their flings holding the air. Flame strike strikes down at the dragon. And as that happens, you see the cackling of purple and pink lightning about the dragon as it begins to absorb the radiance of the damage, sparkling, creating this euphoric-like stature. Dragon continues its flight towards you both. Planetar then is going to continue their movement speed of 120 feet, turning in the direction of the dragon, and then getting itself to about 5 feet higher, which is at the level of the dragon, and basically getting right up in its face, noting that it took no damage. It kind of begins to pull itself left and right to try to get the dragon to fight it and pull its attention. We now come to the silver dragon. So, this is where we're at a point. The dragon is going to be relevant of movement of minus 50 to all of you. Okay? Dragon looks towards Planetar as it is begins to go in to billow its breath once more. Unable to do so, then takes its mouth to bite the Planetar. 29 strikes Planetar. Planetar is hit, but has resistance to bludgeonings, piercing, and slashing from attacks that are considered non-magical. The bite of the dragon is considered that. Takes 11 points of piercing damage. Then, the dragon takes 2 of its claws, pulls its wings back, latches onto the Planetar, dealing 6 points of slashing damage. And, for the third and final attack, 29 hits, deals 8 points of slashing damage. Begins to grab, and then begins to move, twirl itself away, and it shoves itself off, twisting its body around in flight to continue to attack all of you. As the Planetar has seen that the dragon took no damage from its strike of flame and radiance, Planetar turns and motions to grapple the creature, throwing its hands up to hold onto the tail, sheathing the greatsword to grab on as fast as it can towards the dragon. There are opposing athletic checks here, or acrobatics, particularly from the dragon. Planetar with a 13 and the dragon with a 19. The dragon is not grappled.
That guy. We got the nerd.
Okay. As it's moved a total of 40 feet now, it only has, in terms of movement speed, since you all have gone 50 feet, okay, it doesn't have any more flight speed left. So this is actually going to be the end in terms of the dragon's movement. It's still 85 feet in the air. Now, relevant position to you, Naira, does this trigger your hold? Right now, you have a combination of 80 length, 85. I'm going to give it to you just to say, you know, it's in range. It's not. I know it's not, but I think it's probably worthwhile in case you want to throw something out at it.
Listen, it's clearly coming here. It's not like we're like, maybe if we stay really still, it won't hurt us. Yeah, so I am in fact going to.
Okay.
Because it's in range, and I don't like that. I would have been fine if you were like, and then it flew over their heads and away. Did you target, please?
Never target. Ever.
I'm pressing T and it's ignoring me. It's not impressed at all. Hold on. What have I done to anger you so?
Why have you forsaken me?
Why don't you like me anymore? I cannot.
I see
All right.
you target. You are targeting it. You just don't see it because it's so big.
Wow, wow,
It's
wow.
there.
That's
I see you're
really-
targeting it right now. I see it.
current. Wow, that feels
You-
really good. I'm really excited. Oh, now I see just in the corners, I see flashing little red.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's
Great.
hard to see.
It's a hard
Great.
one. Yeah, it's hard.
great. I feel really good about that.
Let's slow down this tile scroll here. I think this is too fast for. That's about right. There we go. That's better. Updating right now. Yeah,
Oh yeah, there you go.
that's way better. It was so
Yeah.
fast before. I was like, okay,
I was like, I
it's
felt like we were on a
unrealistic.
treadmill.
Nothing Sonic the Hedgehog over here.
Like a Final Fantasy background. If you, we should.
Yeah, I
just,
felt-
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe we should be switching rows right now.
Okay, so Naira, you're targeting here. Click your spell. Do not expel the spell slot. Only expel the spell slot and the last of the rays. All right. First ray coming out. That is a 15. The 15 does not hit the dragon. As you fire up your scorching ray, it turns and twists itself into a barrel roll, dodging out of the way.
Okay.
You cross with a second scorching ray, 21. It is going to hit the dragon. As it hits into the head and begins to move, you see the same purple and pink cackling lightning begin to sprout, almost shooting out at your scorching ray, intercepting it for a brief moment, and then begins to divert it. Dragon takes no
Well.
damage.
Love to see it.
Third and final
Not gonna
scorching
hit.
ray, 12, does not hit. Again, now turns itself, inverts itself for a brief moment, then comes back. Dragon is particularly agile and extremely efficient in the air.
If you could not hit us, that would be so good. Ooh, we don't like Demeter either.
Naira, it's your turn.
Great.
Are you staying with Thothig, or are you going to be advancing further ahead?
He asked me.
Well, Thothig moves only 50 feet in a dash. You move faster. That's a real
Yeah.
question. Thothig is the limiter in our movement here. That's why we set that 50-foot bar. So you're basically going to go 10 feet if you dash.
Dothic, what do you want to do?
Gotta keep moving
Okay. Which way?
to the other
Closer?
side.
Oh, away from it. Great, great, great.
Hey,
Great, great,
make
great.
it work
Let's-
for it.
Great, great, great. Let's do that.
So you are heading to the other side, but you want to stay with Thothig together as you move across?
I think
Yes
so,
or no?
yeah.
Okay. So you're going to go 50 feet, and you're going to be at the same movement as Thothig. And Thothig, I'm assuming you're dashing, because your turns are going to go basically together here, okay? So,
Just
Dothic,
hoping
are
that that
you-
planar
Okay.
creature could do anything. Anything at all. Helpful.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so Thothig, you're going to be running right across the water at 50 feet?
Yes.
Okay. So, if there's anything for your bonuses, go ahead and say so now.
I can't bring someone with me when I Misty Step, correct?
No.
You cannot. Tail Strike from the dragon comes out in the direction of the Planetar, 6 points as a legendary. Then we now come to the Planetar's turn. Planetar is looking into its arsenal of things it can do here. The grapple was not successful. It's going to move again in the same kind of direction, try to get in front of the dragon as best as it possibly can. It then is going to look into its repertoire of spells. Fortunately, the control weather is an option for it, but it takes too long to cast. Or this dragon's going to be on top of you. Hopefully, you can maybe manipulate the weather to try. Its invisibility is only itself. It can't actually cast invisibility on others. And then its attack even good has nothing, and the blame barrier won't slow it down. Its only
I think
attempt
this guy
here,
fucking sucks.
only attempt is to try to grapple the dragon, to try to pin it down so that way it can push it off, or to fly and hold it in its flight. So it moves up in front The planetars are amazing, okay? The planetars, I do want to say for a record, planetars are amazing at dealing
Yeah.
damage and healing. But when it comes
Seems like they
to
suck.
actual,
They suck right now.
really, what
Yeah.
you need is like a fire giant that flies, right? With
Yes.
like a
Oh,
massive
God.
string. You know what I'm saying? Just to grab
Yeah.
like a giant dragon. Okay, so Planetar is going
Really what you need
to
is a dragon.
the Planetar is going to attempt to grapple here as best as it can. So we are going to have the opposing rolls here coming out, particularly from the two creatures, which are essentially just two athletic checks that are coming outwards. Planetar has an 18, and the dragon has an 11. Dragon is
Ha!
going to be grappled by
Fucking
the
finally,
Planetar.
Fred.
There we go.
So, the dragon actually is not very large. So I'm going to describe the dragon now that it's coming into visible range, and then we're actually going to come to the dragon's turn. And at the same time that we're coming to the dragon's turn at the start, we're actually now going to come to the other side of the river and what they three are going to be doing. Okay? So, the dragon is shiny in this silverness and glow. It actually is like has a little like a glow, like a tinge from its silver scales. It has a sleek-like appendages to the face. And as it does so, it actually has two of these bluish, whitish eyes that are kind of coming through and has triple eyelids. When it flies, it actually can close down two and still see. The tendrils and whiskers are coming out and they kind of funnel themselves backwards and kind of fold in to this conical-like head. The wings as well, again, slender and sleek and enough to fold in and be able to kind of do a deep dive but also come out and are longer wingspan than most dragons. The tail comes through with a blunt end to help counterbalance, but also can be kind of folded in with some other little wings back there. The talons, right, all can be kind of clutched and pulled in, so the legs are not very long, right, so the talons are very long, all that type of stuff. Now, the biggest thing about the dragon is, again, its size. This dragon is actually, in terms of its length, is only about 70 feet in terms of its size. Okay? So most, in terms of the size of Ithrin, when you face Ithrin, Ithrin's actually larger than this dragon. So that's something that's kind of interesting. But when you saw its breath come out and hit the Planetar, it was far more ferocious, far more cold, and it shot out more quickly. So something is a little bit strange in terms of its size and its power, right? So Planetar has it grappled. It kind of grabs onto the neck and begins to pull its wings to try to move it. The dragon is bigger than the Planetar, so the Planetar can't actually move the dragon, but it can stop the dragon from moving because the Planetar has the strength to do so in terms of weight. We now come to the dragon's turn. At that point, we are coming across the river to the three that are across there. We have Gilga, who's just, you all three can see this. You're over at the other side. You can stare literally miles away at this dragon flying in, and you're just like watching because you can't do anything right now, right? So you're just like staring at it, and like you're like looking, trying to squint your eyes to try to do the best you can. And Paz, your silver gemstone is aglow, and it has a little bit of a flickering of light to that glow. What are the two of you doing?
Yes, do you remember what you did when your stone glowed after the dragon destroyed the bar?
What do you mean?
You know when the dragon came in, smashed the bar, and then it flew away?
Hmm.
How did you do that?
I didn't do that. I mean, I was focusing on the stone, but it's not like I asked it to come do that.
Gotta focus on it.
Yeah. You ever meditated before?
Well, shush. Thought I was just gonna kind of drop down and just kind of sit and try to focus on it.
Okay, you sit and focus on the stone, and as you do, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Great at those. Just great
Oh, yeah.
at those. Intelligence save. Hey,
19. If there ever was a moment, this would be the moment. As you begin to focus and meditate into the stone, there is a presence a slight tinge of pain, like a electrical shock within your mind, and then this very interesting voice echoes out towards your mind. Save your friends. Control the dragon. Tell it what to do.
Leave.
See as the
Yes.
stone begins to send out
Okay.
pulse waves of energy. And as it does, it begins to kind of extend outwards of you like a beacon. And as those waves carry through in the wind, still have yet to reach the dragon. But they are shooting in the general area, creating a aura, an ambiance. This light, bright enough, Varys, you see this as it glows, and as Paz is sat down, the eyes closed, just meditating for a brief moment. You can see that their hands are covered in silver draconic scales. They are attempting to commune and reach some sort of force. Varys, is there anything else you're doing?
No, I'm probably just keeping Paz safe. They're a bit far out for me to really do anything.
Okay. You see now, as we come to the dragon grappled, held by the neck. The dragon's head lurches and snaps. No longer is it down looking at all of you. It actually picks its wings up and snaps in the direction of all the way across of the river. See its eyes stretching and looking open and wide. It then begins to shake, moving from left to right. As it does, a voice rings out. I don't want to do this! And then begins to turn its head, twisting. And then the purple and pink cackling light begin to fill the eyes. And it turns in the direction of the Planetar. And it goes to try to breathe once more. As it does, it is successful in using its breath, breathing outwards at the Planetar for another amount of damage. The Planetar is going to fail. Take 77 points of cold damage. Hit into the chest from the mouth of the dragon as it pitches itself, breathing, holding onto the neck. The Planetar, wings slightly frozen. And then they
Then you
both
just have to pay it.
begin to twist and turn as if they are falling from the sky. Planetar is trying to push back the dragon as best as it can, try to hold it in place. But the Planetar is not looking good. Its wings fragmented, falling off slightly. Skin blue now, away from that. It's this deeper blue than it was, that kind of greenish kind of coloration of white. And that is the end. The dragon's turn. The dragon cannot move. So, Naira, Gothig, both of you, what are we doing?
Running.
Just running? Running.
I mean, we don't want
Okay.
we don't want to kill it, but we also don't want to die. So
Yep.
All right. So before we get to the Planetar, the dragon is taking legendary, and it'll be taking it to swing its tail at the Planetar. Coming across, still grappled, smashes into the back of the Planetar, the back end of its tail as it whips into it and twists itself in a barrel roll like style. 9 points of bludgeoning damage is dealt. The Planetar, then grappled, is trying to push and shove, but the dragon is too large to actually push this. It can only hold its grapple. Then, with the off, it takes the sword in for a swing in the direction of the dragon. You see, as it sends a blessing out before, the holy weapon swings, and it goes in for a stab. 25 strike. As it goes in, hits into the purple and pink cackling lightning that erupts. What would be normally 50 points of slashing and radiant damage, the lightning of this purple and pink begins to pull into the greatsword. You can see this angelic weapon begin to splinter and crack. As it explodes in multiple pieces of metal fragments. Left only is the hilt of the Planetar's weapon. As the Planetar stares in disbelief that the creature would have such power to destroy a weapon forged by Pelor himself. Planetar can only hold on and wait. As we end, we now come to the dragon. The dragon is going to take another legendary to swing its tail again. Planetar here just bashing back and forth into this resistant creature for 7 points. The waves of the pulsation now echoing out, moving across many miles in distance over several seconds. A strike inwards, almost as if the dragon has been hit by some sort of force that both of you can't see in the water. Paz can feel its connection. As you feel your connection to the dragon, your command, you again say what you want it to do.
It should just fly away and leave and not come back for a while. That'd be great. Just leave everyone alone and just, off.
You hear a quiver of the voice within your mind of the dragon, and the two of you on the water can barely hear, but its voice is audible as it's speaking, as also this voice gets to Paz at the same time. I'm so sorry. Please help
That's
me.
all right.
As it says that, it begins to try to pull its wings to fly away. The Planetar
You
still
know and
has it grappled.
understand.
As it pulls commanded, Paz, the pain within your mind becomes so severe, you let go for a brief moment, and then the connection is lost. The scales from your hands retract. But you can visually see now, after you come out of your meditation, that something has happened. The dragon is now trying to pull its head back away, unfold its wings, to try to get out of the Planetar's grapple. But not just get out as it's been doing, but fly in the opposite direction as your friends. Go further away than you. The dragon is going
Stupid Planetar ruins everything.
to make its athletic check here. Planetar goes into a pose. Planetar is successful still to hold it in its grapple. The both of them are going to fall to 60 feet in terms of their elevation, as they're entwined and unable to fly. Both don't have hover, okay? So remember, if you're flying, you fly. These two creatures are not flying right now. They're just falling. So they're going to fall 30 feet here. Naira, Thothig, are you still running?
I mean, it's not like we're trying to catch it.
No.
So still running, you see as now distance is having and being separated between the two of you. The dragon is going to be taking another legendary here, hits the Planetar for 11 points of damage as a retaliatory strike to try to get out of its grapple. At this point, both of you are unsure if this is a motion to get out of the grapple and to flee, or to get out of the grapple and attack you both. But you're
Not
just keeping your
asking
head.
questions.
No.
You're keeping your head down, and you're not asking questions. I'm now moving the two tokens because they actually have
Yeah.
both not moved right in terms. So you've now gone 50 and then 50, and we now come across to the Planetar's turn.
Just excited and honored to see some distance finally.
The Planetar continues to look in the direction of the dragon, and then begins to look and use another flame strike onto the dragon. You see as it holds up its hand to kind of come downwards in this fight, flame strike comes and shoots to the top end, and the voice and the audible of the Planetar in the direction of the creature is unheard by you. The wind and the currents and the waves, right? You can't hear anything, but the Planetar is visually, you could see that it's saying something in the direction of the dragon. And as we now come to the dragon, the dragon lets out a slight roar, and as it does, it fires off another breath, point blank, into the Planetar. The Planetar is struck 97 points of cold damage. As it begins to break apart, you see, frozen, lets go. The arms break, half the body comes apart, and it's a bunch of frozen pieces that begins to fall to the direction of the water. As that happens, the dragon picks its wings, large gust. It begins to fly off the opposite direction of you both.
Hell yeah. You
That's the end
owe
of
so
combat.
much money. You owe so much money.
Yeah.
You gotta get the heck out of here.
So Thothig already has a plan for that.
Is that plan getting more money and sending an IOU note up top?
So, you both continue your run across the water. Paz, Varys, you're on the other side of the river. Paz, you're shaking your head a little bit of what just happened. You look at Varys. Gilga's there too.
Sorry. Gilga's there too.
Is there anything you both are saying to each other?
Wow, it did it. It really left.
Good job.
Yeah, they're gonna take a long time.
Does that mean we're not killing this dragon?
I wasn't gonna try and kill it from the beginning, but I mean, yes. I think we now have a way to not kill it. Or at the very least, not have someone control it. I mean, with only one additional stone, that's pretty powerful.
Gotta get some more.
I mean,
Imagine when it's like 4 times as strong.
fine.
Fine.
Hi. I love it.
Still have
That's
the
great.
backup plan.
I
if
mean,
that
yeah,
fails.
there's always the option.
Okay, that works for me.
As long as it's not the first one. Man, they're really far out.
Yeah, I'm really glad we went first.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Maybe we should like make up a camp and stay here for
Yeah,
the
let's
night.
not
'Cause they-
like draw attention to ourselves.
Well, I mean, like we can like at least
Yeah.
come back and they might want
Like
to
the biggest
rest.
fire we can.
'Cause, yeah,
I mean, they're
really
gonna have
far
to
out
climb up now, though, too. Like that's a long climb. How much rope you
Oh.
got? I got like 50 feet.
there. I don't carry things on me.
Ugh. Well, that's not
I
gonna
mean,
help.
I could fall really far.
Then you just have to climb back up. What good is that? That just
Motivation.
you're gonna fall down there to motivate them to climb faster. It just seems
Well,
like a waste
yeah,
of
it's like, look, I can climb. You can do it too.
It'll totally motivate me.
Dwarf
Climb
and elf
faster,
in
faster
very
forward.
heavy armor.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't carry rope.
I'm mad because I have so much rope and I'm down there.
No, so we could throw things at them.
That also doesn't seem helpful. It sounds
but
like a
it's
fireball will be thrown back up at us.
not an issue for me, but I guess it is for you.
I mean, there's still a chance it could hurt you.
No, I don't know. Could fashion vines together? I don't.
I mean, it's kind of a them problem, but hopefully they're good at climbing.
Well, what if we just like go
We're
inland a
so
little
heavy.
bit?
Yeah.
So
What if we
heavy.
just
Yeah.
what if we just go inland a little bit and pretend we didn't hear them?
That also sounds like a good way to get a fireball thrown at us. So I'm gonna be honest. Nyara's been running hot, and I have been trying to be on the pleasant side of the fireballs compared to the rest of you. It's worked out for me so far, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Well, if you have any better ideas, I'm here to hear them.
I mean, I'm thinking we just sit up here. We could provide the encouraging. Yeah, you got it.
Feeling so
When they
good.
get close enough,
Mhm.
I'll throw the rope down.
I mean,
Does Gilga have rope?
Great question.
gotta
Does that
forget he's-
artificer have anything? Gilga's there
Does,
too.
does Gilga have rope?
He's gotta have rope.
Must ever. Yeah.
100
Swear to
feet
God,
of rope.
Gilga.
There you go.
Well, he won't
Okay, so we
anymore.
got 150 feet, so they just got to get halfway up, and then we'll toss them
Halfway
the
up.
rope.
And then you
Okay,
toss
but
down
then
the rope
now-
to him.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
here
we'll
comes
have
now here comes another problem that we're gonna have, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not very strong. You're not very strong.
I mean,
Is presumably not very strong.
the three of us, I feel like, could anchor it down enough.
Maybe
Yeah, there's
one
plenty
at
of
a time.
trees.
Yeah, we tied
Gilga,
around.
Gilga
Yeah.
could probably make like a pulley. Really, you have time. Pulley.
Yeah.
You could just
Oh
make a
yeah,
pulley.
Gilga
There you
could
go.
just make a whole like
I
pulley
forgot.
system.
Yeah,
for us.
just
Yep.
pulley
Yeah,
system.
we have
Counterweights.
a couple of
We
hours.
have a nerd.
Yeah.
Actually, guys, I think I can do this. Make it happen. I think
Try
I
to
can
do
get
that
a
when we shove him
pulley
into
to
a
that
locker.
tree over there.
Yeah, I mean, just stop talking, start doing.
Yeah,
You could just not talk to us while you do it.
sounds good.
So Gilga gets to work, begins to make the pulley system here. You all begin to tie a rope together. Again, they're running, and it's like 4 miles on water that they're having to run. In terms of the time that it would take to get across 4 miles, how long does water walking last?
An hour. Let
Huh.
me just check, but I'm pretty sure it's an hour.
Be as long as you let it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
this
think
is just
Dothan,
our thing now.
I think you might be cutting it close because you
Yes.
move only 50 feet on a dash, right?
Yes, I knew we would be cutting it very close.
So you go
If it was going the full 6 miles, but if we're only going like 4,
you go 500 feet a minute.
right?
All right, so 500 feet a minute, and then if we take that to an hour, you go 30,000 feet.
That's
52,
more
80
than
feet
enough.
in a mile. There's more than
More
that.
than
So you
that,
should be able to make it, but you have to dash the whole way,
Yeah. Oh, I'm
which
getting
is
tired.
like which is
fucking
like
with that
exhaustion. Yeah,
Yeah.
super. I mean, you're probably level 3 exhaustion at least at that point. Just
Maybe.
like
Yeah.
toppling yourself
Yeah.
down at the end of it. I will. It's
If it were
fine.
me,
I
if it were me, I just drowned.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just kill me.
Yeah.
So you eventually, after 4 miles have passed here, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the clock here in terms of time. I got to go to there because I had to adjust time for the fight, and then also I didn't adjust time for the quarter of the way across the river. So it's afternoon. It's not that late in the afternoon. We're not even to the evening yet. The overcast still, the wind's slowly coming across. The crest of the waves is difficult, but you all in your full dashes are there. And Paz, Varys, and Gilga, you have your pulley ready. You have your hoist almost ready. It's like a pulley to a hoist using some branches and these large evergreen pine trees. And you're ready to go. You have your rope lowered down to 150 feet. And you're ready to essentially pull them up as soon as they're able to get up to the rope. We're going to go and take a break. If you're watching the stream, thanks so much.
Ooh,
And we're going to see if Vathig and Naira can get up
We
the
got
cliff,
this.
150 feet of
Yeah.
cliff. And in terms of exhaustion level, I gotta put something on you, but I don't want to make it so it's like gonna kill you getting up this thing.
What are we
It's
gonna
really
do?
ridiculous.
Die?
Well, if you're exhaustion level 2, your
Fuck.
speed is half.
Yeah.
We're fine.
So I think I'll have you put you at level 2 by the time you get to the cliff. I'll have you at speed half, and then I'll have probably just one check for the climb. But it'll be disadvantaged because we have disadvantage on ability checks. So
great.
So we're gonna see what happens. And not that's not gonna be, I mean, you're just gonna fall towards the water, but you know
Just gonna die. It's fine,
we'll
guys.
make it cinematic. We'll make it cinematic. a
New
little bit.
characters.
Okay. So
Everything
The
about this
dragon
plan
this
was
time-
great.
before I take a break, the dragon this time has not come back. The dragon actually has completely gone off site and then actually ascended into the clouds. And so your eyes and perceptions, you two, are not there. You're just in full run trying to get to safety as best as you can.
Hell yeah.
The rest of you making the pulley and stuff, Pass, you haven't seen it, right? You haven't had that voice come to you. So you're as far as you three on the cliffside here know that everything's safe, everything's good in terms of your perceptions and stuff. So our break, 10 minutes. We'll come back at about 6:47, 6:50 p.m. PST. I hope you're watching. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. And check us out when we come back. So, see ya.
Mm.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining us here. We really appreciate it for the second half of our session, which is, I think, going to be an hour or so, depending on Haley, if you have to hop off immediately. So, see where we get at the end of our session today. So, you all are now at the kind of cliff on the eastern side of the Ismar River. Two of your party members have made way. They're extremely exhausted at this point, so I'm putting them at exhaustion level 2 in terms of their characters, which is exhaustion. It doesn't really come about very often, I think, in terms of 5th edition, and I do believe it's getting an overhaul in 1D&D, and then there's a lot of other TTRPGs that do exhaustion quite well. I personally don't like 5th edition's exhaustion, but I am too biased when I make a new system, so I haven't done so. So exhaustion level 2, in terms of the distance traveled and the amount of miles and the running and everything, seems like a pretty good spot to put. So what exhaustion means is that it will put some sort of limiter upon you. For exhaustion level 2, your speed is half, and you have disadvantage on ability checks. Okay, so during the cliffside and all of that, assuming eventually you'll get a long rest, right? You actually will remove 1 level of exhaustion when you rest. You don't remove all of it at once. It's a slow removal there. And then certain characters actually remove exhaustion quickly than others in terms of things they have. So we're at the base of the cliff. The swells are moving. Your water walking is still there. You have a great number of time left before your water walking is up. You see your 3 companions looking down upon you 300 feet of the red rock stone as it's kind of craggly and things, and these foot and handholds are all riddled with it. But you have to ascend 150 feet to get to the rope that they are digging down at you.
Cool.
You now see each other. You now see each other up and down. Are you saying anything to each other? Are you yelling? What's going on?
I think I'm really just taking it in, almost, and trying not to just like be like, well, we live in the water now. I can't even imagine them hearing us if we tried. I think that's about, we've got to climb, and then there's some help we can get.
Gotcha.
I don't see any other way.
We're big, we're heavy, this is it now. We're in it now.
Right.
I think
You're
Kylie,
doing
muted.
great. We believe in you. Grab the rope.
Yep, we will work toward that.
Yeah, any chance you bring it down a little lower? Just a
I
wee
can't
bit.
hear you.
Hey.
I think we're
Whoa.
all right. I'm gonna start to climb.
Okay. I need you to make an athletics check at disadvantage. So hold down control and then go into your character sheet and hit athletics.
Great. It's a pleasure. Control.
Control.
Wait, before you
Wait.
do it.
I'm waiting.
Before
I'm
we
waiting.
start climbing.
What are we waiting for?
What
No,
are you
never
waiting
mind.
for?
It's athletics check.
Is that a never mind? Shall I roll?
Hit it. I'm going to hit you with a guidance.
Okay. So hitting with the guidance too. So we're going to get the roll out and then you can manually roll the d4. All right. Here we go. 11.
Son of a
Go and
bitch.
roll your d4.
Roll your d4.
Okay.
You're doing great.
I feel like I'm doing great.
Just reach the rope.
Great.
So 12 is what you get. You begin to climb foot and handholds of the red rock. Slippery at first. You lose some of your footing for a brief moment at the beginning of the climb. Then it becomes dry as the shelter of the cliffs over top, cutting some cover. As you're climbing up, you get about 30 feet up. It slip a little bit more as the rain hits another rock. Climb a little more up. Now you're getting going. You're up 60 feet as you're making your climb. slowly and surely. So I think you're kind of waiting just in case something happens. You feel confident now seeing your companion beginning to ascend that you can do so as well. Make your roll. You're guiding yourself, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Again, athletics check, you said?
Yeah, it's going to be an athletics check, and then hold down control for the disadvantage.
Thank you.
I don't have an effect applied for the exhaustion. I could, but it's done at that point. Okay, roll a d4.
Hey.
14. So, Gothic, you are 20 feet up. You slip, holding from just the two hands. You then close your eyes, giving a slight prayer, picking up your right foot, grabbing onto a piece of rock, and to continue your free climb all the way up. You now are at the rope together, Naira, and you're waiting for your companion here. There's a single rope here. So you're both there on either side of the rope. As the wind pushes past side to side, you grab the rope. Now Naira, Thothic's there. Pulls yourself up. There's many different foot and handholds here, holes in this red rock. This red rock is bashed over time by weather and whatever creature created this massive river. So there's plenty of places to hold on to. The issue really is, how are you both going to get up the rope at the same time? So one of you going to wait while the other one gets pulled up? Or you're just going to go together?
I'm gonna call up. What are the chances we could tie this around our waists and you pull us up?
Anything's possible.
Gilga looks to themselves as they do. Roll check.
You two of us.
Well, second law of Ironforge.
Okay.
What?
I'm gonna assume that this pulley can make it up. I'm pretty sure it can. Both of your weights. Why don't you tie it off to yourselves and we'll give it a try.
Oh, boy.
We're doing this?
I suppose, yes. Let's give it a shot.
Okay. Let's tie it around ourselves, just like a loop, like, just resting, like it goes around our backs, our arms are over it. You follow?
Yeah.
I'd still like to be actively, like, hand over hand, looking for a foot and handholds and trying to climb as we go, just to be clear. I'm not just like hanging there like he's got it.
So you're gonna do like a Guardian Kevin Costner style, right? Coast Guard
I'm thinking
level.
Princess
Hold the legs
Bride
together,
still
right?
holding on.
Yeah.
Princess Bride still holding on. I got you. Okay. So, Paz, Ferris, Gilga, you grab onto the other end. The rope pulls around the tree, and that pulley is hoisted. And there's another mechanism that kind of lifts the rope, comes back around the tree and stuff. So you're actually pulling towards the cliff, but that's pulling them up, right? So that's kind of using the force of the tree and that pulley system. I don't need a check from the three of you, combined with your strengths together and the system. It actually is good enough to be able to pull them up easily. The issue comes down to Thothig and Naira in terms of balancing themselves and getting the climb on the rope. Being as fatigued as you are, I need one check from one of you or another athletics.
Okay.
Whoever it is getting guidance.
I'm assuming you're getting guidance, so you.
I have a hunch that I have a better strength than you, but I could be wrong.
You do.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it, but I'm going to wait until you give me guidance.
And you have it.
Excellent.
Off the guidance, you then
it's a cantrip.
Roll your athletics at disadvantage again.
Why? My whole self is focused. Okay.
You're exhausted.
I know.
Sprinted
Maybe I'm manic.
miles.
Did you ever think of that? Maybe I'm manic. Oh, one of those
20.
was a 19.
Even with the disadvantage, you're pulling yourself together. Stress. And everything you've been through in your entire life. Continue to push, push, and push. Era, you let out a slight yell outwards to continue. Hold on to the rope and Thothig. Pulling up, eventually reaching the top side of the cliffs. Baz, Varys, Gilga, get you the rest of the way, both on your backs, covered in rain, water. We're all united now, top of the cliffs, within the gentle wood.
That was wild.
You having fun out there?
Yeah, a huge blast.
You did
Did-
great.
Why did it stop?
That's my question. Why did
Thank
it
you
just
so much.
decide to fuck off?
Oh, that was me. I asked it to,
Can
and it said okay.
you?
How did that actually believe?
And it was fighting, and then it couldn't for a while, and then your stupid celestial thing. So yeah, kinda
You
killed.
speak when you throw things like face down to the ground, but he's still pointing up in the air. And yet speak with the respect it gave its life, sort of, to help us.
I
Did it,
mean,
or did it just go back to where it was from?
Probably went back to
I think it was
where
that
it was
one.
from.
yeah, so it's a net loss for us. So
Gotta
no big
say,
deal.
not very good at slowing it down. Thank you, Paz.
I am a spectacular thing.
We gotta get some more rocks. That was wild.
Well, yes. It, I mean, that's the plan.
Yeah, just give me a minute and I'll get back up and we can keep moving.
It seems like y'all need to. Y'all look like shit.
That fucking sucked. That fucking
Respectfully.
sucked. Yeah,
Respectfully, fuck you too, Varys. No
I'm
offense.
so relieved to hear that I look the way I feel.
Yeah, I feel like y'all should take a breather for a bit.
Sure, let's go on a wee vacation, eh?
Yeah, the question is, are we far enough away? And based on very recent events, I would say we're not yet. So maybe we just mouth breathe for a little while and get some distance. I'm not feeling up to sprinting again, so
Oh, me and Bears have been sitting here for a while and getting antsy, so we're like ready to go.
yeah, let's just get in the woods and then I'm gonna find anywhere remotely flat.
So, housing into the gentle wood, as I described prior, you are in the gentle wood at the top of this cliff. The trees of these tall, evergreen pine trees of this orange and reddish of their needles, they actually will grow horizontally out of the red rock at times. Right, they're kind of holding themselves and stuff, which is something that aided you in your climb as well. Made it less challenging. I'll add that note. And you now are kind of making way where there's shelter from wind, right? Because the gorge is that's pretty gnarly. So you're pushing in 100, 200 feet or so. Then you're met with small critters in this place. Squirrels, badgers, birds. And you feel secluded, the density of this wood. And there are shrubs, these leaf shrubs. And they kind of grow outwards and become quite large at times too. And some of them have berries. They look very nice and vibrant and purple. Little mushrooms grow near the base of the trees at times. Slippery jacks, chanterelles in terms of colors. I don't know if you know those two mushrooms, but I'll reference them. Chanterelles like orange, slippery jacks like brown. Yeah, everyone laugh. Come on, I forage for mushrooms every year, so laugh about it. It's great.
No,
It's cheap.
I'm not
Good
excited
time.
till you say morels.
Morels are hard to find, but they are good.
Right, so I'm not excited until you say them.
Yeah, I think chanterelles are hard too, but they pretty predictable in Oregon. In terms of their morels are like random when they grow.
Morels will grow here or there, or like this, or even
Yeah.
like that.
Or that. Slipperjacks are the easiest. They're just always over Douglas firs, so they grow in the root systems of Douglas firs. Anyways, I'm gonna back to the game. Sorry, science land.
Woo. Sorry, mushrooms are great.
Yeah, so you're traversing a number of times. So we're going to get to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just in a leisurely pace, just getting some seclusion from the wind and the rain is just softly falling down at this point. It's very light. If you're underneath the tree, which you generally are in this forest, you are sheltered from the rain. So you're just really hearing it above you, hitting into the branches. Seeing some of the critters, you could probably throw a rock, get lucky, hit a squirrel, too, get some food. And you haven't seen anything yet. The forest is large. This forest, in terms of its size, based on the map that divided oh so long ago, it's nearly 20 miles in its width. So you have a great amount of wilderness here. Shelter. Where are the Grey Mato? That's the question. Will they find you, or will you chance upon them? You looking for tracks?
I sure
Found
freaking
the
hope
other
they
settlement?
find us.
Are you going to be looking for tracks? Because that's what you did before. Or are you going to just camp out and see if they find you?
I'm looking for moss to lay down on.
Okay, looking for moss to lay down on, a little bit of a cushy area. Find some, let's say, dried needles, just kind of laid
fine.
out underneath the base of a tree, forming itself in a natural bed. Just gonna lay out now.
Ferris, if you find anything useful or it's been an hour and I haven't gotten up, come make sure I'm not dead.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Can I investigate around while they rest?
Of course. Are you looking for tracks, survival, or are you going to be looking for investigative, more like markers and things that would catch your eye?
Investigative, more like markers or any sort of like,
See
yeah,
if
like
they leave.
signs they would
see
use.
if they leave something, right? Maybe the
Yeah.
Grey Mato have a way that they communicate through the trees and other markers and branches. Yeah, it's smart. Roll investigation.
Sweet.
You think you found
30.
anything?
Nah.
So you are looking and you notice that there are cuts into the trees at times. And based on this and what you observed in the other settlement, that they have paths that they use through the woods. And you have by chance passed one of those paths about 60 feet back. But you're there looking at that. You're going to line it up and you just stare. All of a sudden you see through your eye one tree to the next tree to the next tree, marked all in a similar fashion. Resin now is caked into that symbol. It's really just a line with a little bit of an angled. It's like an arrow, but it's missing one half of that.
Wonderful. I will head back to where they're resting once I find that. I know where we need to go once we're ready. Or I have a strong hunch.
Great. As soon as my legs work again, I will be following you.
Yeah. No worries. We seem relatively safe here.
Yeah, safe as we've been anywhere at this point.
Paz and I can keep watching while you two recover, and Gilga.
Said a hard
course.
day, he had to think.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna. I doubt we have the sort of time to rest for as long as it would take to lift exhaustion, but
No,
You have a, yeah, you have enough time if you want to take a long rest here. You know, an elongated rest. You can knock off a level of exhaustion, but a short rest in terms of exhaustion, if I recall correctly in conditions, I do not believe
Doesn't do anything.
a short rest does anything for your exhaustion level.
no, it's
Okay.
a long rest per point.
if everyone's okay with me taking a long rest for one point of it, I would, but
Yeah.
it
Not
depends
to
on
have
how
your speed halved.
yeah, but it depends on how eager we are to keep moving.
I'd rather have y'all in better shape and take more time.
All right, then I'm gonna take a long rest.
Okay.
Thought will do the same.
All right. Are we lighting a fire this night?
I'm not.
No.
That just sounds dangerous.
Honestly, I don't want to invite anyone anywhere near us. I'm gonna just bundle up and
Actually,
pass out.
could I go around and to see if there were anything that might be predatory animal-wise around?
You can make a nature or survival.
I just want to just do a quick kind of around to see if there's anything that looks like it might be a big gamer.
Hmm.
13.
13. So, Varys, your investigation was looking at markers, potentially for the Grey Motto. And while you were looking up at the trees, you're missing the tracks below. As you are helping in terms of tracks and looking to see if there would be any large predators. And as you make way, making a survey around your small camp that you made, it becomes very apparent that dire bears roam this wood.
Oh, good.
So we should sleep up in the trees and be very quiet, it would seem.
Yeah, you might not want to be here.
Then paths as you continue to look through tracks through some of the larger gaps of trees. You actually observe a large circular foot or a pad of a creature. You stare at it, much larger than most of you in terms of its diameter. You stretch and you can see some of the trees are pushed past this large creature's big way through.
Also, there's this thing.
4 legs. It's 4 pads.
Better not
It
be an
has
object.
a huge gate to it in terms of the creature's side. I did not call it an object.
I was gonna say, I swear to God, if it's an object, I'm burning the woods.
So there you see an object in the sky.
There's an object near
Mhm.
you.
No, thank you.
It is shiny and chrome. And
We're
has-
not enough tonight, please.
Yeah.
I'm out. That's it. My body is ready. That's it.
My body's ready to give it all. It's got... So Paz, you can't for the 13 survival, you've never came across this creature in your backstory. You don't
Yeah,
know what this is,
Bigger than me.
but gives you some descriptions to make your understanding that's a huge size creature, and that it is quadrupedal, so it's 4-legged.
Well, there's all this stuff, so yeah, you might not want to get hunted by it. I would go sleep in the trees.
Yeah, roger that.
I'm just gonna kind of scamper up a tree and just I would just want to hang a hammock.
Hang a hammock.
Couple branches.
The branches
gonna
are
just-
massive. These trees are quite large. They can grow up to 140 feet into the air at times. So the branches are very thick. You're able to get your hammock kind of hooked up, and I'm assuming the rest of you are doing the same.
If I have a hammock, otherwise I'm gonna just do it freaking Katniss Everdeen style and just tie myself to the tree.
Okay.
Tying yourself to the tree because I don't think you have a hammock.
I doubt I have a hammock. I'm heavy as shit.
I don't think you can even make.
I'm
this.
pretty sure I've just tied myself to the
You're
tree.
like
and been
sweet.
like,
Hey, look! I
"Fun."
made a hammock, everybody. Here's some
Crap.
patches.
I would be-
Mhm.
That's on me for testing
Roll
gravity.
roll credit for there.
And new character creation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, I'm gonna advance the time, and are we gonna be aiming for the morning in terms of like first light, or we are gonna be moving at night?
I'm fine either way.
Yeah.
Because you could technically at this time you could do 2 long rests and get both exhaustion levels removed, and be up about 8 to 9ish in the morning the next day.
Oh, guys, what if we did that?
You could
I
do 2
mean-
long rests back to back. There's nothing stopping. There's no rules against it, and it's a
Right.
good way
Yeah.
to get rid of exhaustion. It's really just kind of setting up a more permanent camp, right?
In this tree.
Well,
Sounds like
I'm
it
just
increases
happy.
your chances of falling out of a tree.
I'm sleeping up in a tree. My dumb butt is not about to get.
2 long rests, 2 chances to fall out of a tree. Just-
I know, right?
Mhm.
double the odds, double the fun. Not trying to get midnight snacked by a bear.
I mean, I'm good with doing it.
I'm gonna be
Everyone
so
else is-
mad at you when we sleep in the tree and you're like, turns out bears can climb, guys. Roll
Mhm.
initiative.
Do I tell you if the dire bear can climb?
I'm absolutely sure it can. It's walk. Don't even, sir. He's out here being helpful. You could do 2 long rests in a row. You'll definitely have time. Meanwhile, bear climbs up tree, eats
I think we
eats
should do it.
party.
I agree.
I agree.
All right, we're doing it.
Okay. So you are doing it. So you get your long rest in. You then kind of continue to rest through, right? You don't necessarily have to sleep. I do want to say you don't have to sleep for like 8 hours, and then you could kind of be more leisurely at that point. Hey, perhaps one of you keeping watch, or just keeping to the trance, knowing how 2 of your party members, Elf and Scent, can trance and also keep their perceptions slightly aware. That is going to aid keeping yourselves in a tree. The only person I need in terms of a role, Thothic, you don't trance. You actually sleep heavy.
It's your regular
And
fat dwarf ass
You
up
did,
in the
and
tree.
you did make a hammock. So, as a dwarf, not to be specious, I only need
That's
you
fine.
to make a flat wisdom check.
Okay. Wisdom check.
Hi, honey. Yeah, don't look at it. All right, honey.
Done.
21. Okay. You're
Got him.
good. So 21, you are successful in terms of just keeping yourself in the tree, being aware of your surroundings. Not a hard thing. I just was curious to see you get like a natural wood or something. Now
You fall
as
into a bear's mouth.
Yeah.
So in the early hours of the next morning here, you're going to get to about 7 o'clock in the morning. You have yet to accomplish the second long rest. And you can hear the sounds of
Disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a bear moving through the woods, the crashing of some of the branches. And as you kind of look, tired eyes, and you kind of stare a little bit, you can see 60 feet through some of the tree lines, the trees, and is this large dire bear just raking its back against one of the pine
Right.
trees, just cleaning its back, letting out groans. And it goes back down to the ground. It makes way to some of the bushes just underneath your tree that you found those purple berries. Continues to eat them. And you're all just staring down at the tree and see the bear sniff. Picks its head and looks up at all of you. And just continues to eat the berries.
I just want to be clear that unless I hear screaming, I maintained a trance. I was like, nope, nope, no, no.
Doesn't seem like the bear is receiving you all as a threat. Just continues to eat the berries, but then it just moves on.
I can't imagine a world where we're a threat right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just continues to make way. Now, the bear
Probably thought you were dead.
turns
I
its
feel that.
size. The bear is massive. So this bear is at least 3 times the size of a bear that you've seen, like a black bear or brown bear. It's going to be 3 times that size. It's going to stand in terms of 12 feet long, weigh like 8,000 pounds.
Pass.
And so, yeah, a hard pass at fighting that.
Hard
thing.
pass.
But it seemed rather friendly. I mean, in terms of, it wasn't like
No,
"Arr,
it didn't seem
coming over the
friendly.
tree.
It
It
seems
just was.
interested.
It was
And I
just
will
going
take-
about its business, right?
Okay.
It's just going
Yeah,
about
that's
its
not.
business.
It's not friendly. That's ideal.
And you have come across now for your 2 successful long rests. I'm going to go into the character sheets of each of you and just knock those exhaustion levels back down to 0.
Thank you.
And apologies if you heard my daughter; she ran into the office. I moved rooms. There's no lock on this door, so
Gotta get one of those like those
child
bars.
gate things. Yeah,
Oh, you get a
or
child
bar
gate.
to bar, child gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bar it.
Well, it's
Slide a
down
bar
the hall. The office is like by the front entry, and there's a hallway, so I could just gate the front. Just hear her run into the gate. You know, as a barrier.
Just hear it rattling.
Rattling. So So your 2 long rests are cheap. You've gone through. You feel accomplished, and the purple berries appear to be edible, courtesy of the bear. And there's leftover scraps that you're able to forage if you'd like them. There's mushrooms
Yeah.
as well. You could possibly forage because you saw the bear eating some of
Absolutely.
those on the way out too.
We'll say a bear is not a human, but I will in fact take some.
Well, you're also technically not a human.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's progress for you,
Wow,
actually.
Paz.
You think we're all human.
Yeah, Paz is growing up.
Bro.
Paz,
As
Yeah.
Character
changed.
growth.
We're all humanity.
real character growth here.
I'm really impressed, and I'm bagging these mushrooms and these berries.
There you go. So you are now pressing forward, getting off of the tree, foraging a little bit on your way, and you're using the markers, Varys, as you lead the path and lead the trail.
Yep.
Okay. After about 5 hours of hiking,
It's fine.
you get to about midday, and you notice that some of the ground in this area that you've stepped upon here is actually is kind of cultivated in a very similar way to the other settlement. And you notice that there are crops that have been picked from this area. There's some shrubbery and bushes. And then the trees are beginning to clear in a spacing of this trail. Pulls you into this map. Now, Varys, with your past investigation, you're all stacked up together just a way.
Yep.
So Varys, with your past investigation, I do that on purpose. I actually have it so it put people like to a line, and I made a mistake of doing that in a dungeon, and like it put people outside of like the map thing. It was absurd.
That's so funny.
So I'm like stacking. Hey, you know what? It's fine because you actually see you see your token up top
Yeah.
of the stack. Right.
I'll
So it
never
actually works.
stop assuming I'm all alone and that I've fucked up somehow in the transition.
Yeah. So you come to this map, and Varys, you're following the trail, and everything seems normal. You're on your way, and you mentioned in terms of it becoming cultivated ground in the terrain here, but you're easily within an hour reaching whatever settlement the Grey Marteau have here within the Gentle Wood. But you notice that there's something off about some of the patches of the ground in front of you.
I will
As you
tell everyone to pause. Yeah.
And as you pause and you survey the scene, I need you to make a perception or investigation check.
It's going to be investigation for sure.
21. With your sight lines being very nice and seeing, I'm going to draw 2 templates down. Ground is slightly upraised in mounds of leaves, hidden by grass, these 2 areas.
Wonderful. Be careful of traps.
Great. My strong suit.
It-
If you point them out, I'll be careful of them.
Yeah, I'll kind of point out the general area and be like, just stay close to me.
Yep, can do.
Dothake's gonna tap Varys for guidance going forward, then knowing he's looking for stuff.
Wonderful. Then I'll start moving kind of this way and around.
All right. So you begin to make way, noticing those potential 2 traps that capacity to protect. You look up into a larger tree on the north side. The clearing becomes evident. And then you begin to see smoke billowing from the settlement. About 20 minutes hike away. Now you're getting that piercing through the trees, the path. You can see the smoke. And there is a very familiar person in a tree, on a platform of the tree, hidden in the branches, looking down, staring at you. Stare at you, they pull out the same tool the elder had used. Others. Lagging out. Hold on.
I don't have any more bear pelts to
Am I back?
offer.
Am I
Like,
back?
Slowly raise my hands up.
Should have brought some kind of long distance signal that we were not bad.
So a little bit of this drum tone. It's kind of giving out. And then as that happens, there's more. And then there's actual drums in the distance.
What if you offer them the corn? Oh, we didn't take any.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
I suppose hands up would be a good start.
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
people
There's
think
like
we're
keep
holding
his
weapons.
hands away from weapons.
Yeah, trying to be really clear that I'm not reaching in any way.
Just fucking suit.
Drums continue. And as you stand there, with Gilga too, as you stand there, you can now see shadows moving to the west, to the east, running through the trees. As quick as you see them, as quick as they hide behind cover, shrubs, trees.
Do you want to maybe call out and let them know who sent us?
Yeah, we're not here to fight. We're here to talk.
I am Paz.
I start name dropping everyone we spoke to.
Okay. So you start kind of yelling that out. The drums continue, and eventually you can see a group forming after about 10 minutes of the drums, full run. Then they stop as they come and see you. One of which in the lead is a darker skinned, slightly young human with black hair flowing down below the lower back. The beard is long, bushy, grown out. They wear very little but a tan-colored loincloth. They hold a great axe in the hand. The great axe is covered with the bones of animals besides that of bear, and bones of half-orcs and orcs.
Handy.
They have a wooden amulet held by bead, simply a piece of wood hollowed out. An intricate silver gemstone is placed within.
That's the one.
They stop and they stare. Then this one holds up the hand in front. They begin to walk forward, and they pause in the tree clearing. The drums stop. They hold out their hand. They clench, and that's what signals the drums to stop. And the shadows to the west and east stop moving. They lower their hand, axe in the off, and they pull it to the main. As they stare and they look. Rain softly falling down. What news do you bring of my people?
Paris, are you still doing the talking, or
I mean, we can.
we...
You said follow your lead.
For the walking part.
Okay.
They're alive?
Walking.
They're keeping moving,
Good start.
keeping safe. They were kind enough to point us toward you so you could help us, hopefully.
Which would in turn might help you with a certain dragon problem.
I have called to the bear spirit. And I have seen great strength from warriors that would come the bear spirit would not see.
That would be us. We can't
Yeah.
be seen by
Yeah.
spirits or gods.
We're not yet. We're not divinable, as it were.
Come.
Okay.
Come eat. Come rest. I'm sure your journey
So-
has been long and arduous. I am Chief Tall Tree, chief of the Grey Marteau, and these are my woods. Come. Holds up the hand again. Your ups continue. Begins to push past, heading north, where the fires, and the lean-tos, and the longhouse are.
All right, I guess off we go.
Hmm.
After you, Bears.
Yeah,
I
guess.
still don't know where the
I-
I still don't know where the traps are.
I don't need you to move your tokens.
Yeah, it was.
You can keep your tokens where they're at. So
Oh, I'm walking the map.
you can walk the map if you want. So you're not going very far, and something to state is that you're entering into this settlement, and the settlement's much larger than the other settlement was. There are many cultivated areas in slight tree clearings. They've taken great care to do this in natural clearings. They do not cut down trees. They use dead, fallen trees by natural causes only for their firewood. So the cultivated areas are met with these hunting stands and other sorts of wooden towers for sentries, lean-tos, other small leather and straw reed huts for storage of goods. And it's a community in the woods, which is very sparse and actually covers 2 square miles. So you have actually walked in to the south side, which is the less populated of their settlement for some reason. There are far more towers that you observe here, not lean-tos, not other sorts of structures or tanning racks, their leathers, the other pitched of their fires and their spits in the same style that you saw in the other settlement. So there's some reason for that. It catches you all of your eyes, your inquisitive eyes here. And eventually you reach the main heart of the settlement, which, roaring with fires, many of these warriors feasting, tanning leathers, fires pitched nearby to help dry them out in the rain. Lean-tos, an abundance of large, massive fish they catch out of the Ismar River, somehow 300 feet down. And what was spoken by the sage was that they could not make the journey across the water without losing their lives. They still use the water. So, warriors are dressed in the same fashion. They have the same armaments, great axes, battle axes, bows, arrows. They do not wear armor. Sages nearby. Eventually, Chief comes in and begins to walk through, continuing to usher you forward through the long house, which is twice the size of the other that you observed, nestled with leathers, sticks, branches, put together in a very intricate way, able to be disassembled when needed, also slight permanent construction. Press through, and inside you're met with no actual leathers. There's canned goods and basins. There's some pots here. It's actually open, covered with leaves and draws of vine on the other side. There is a large redstone rock that's placed at the back end of the longhouse. Warriors inside here, with fires and chimneys blossoming 3 trios of smoke, give themselves to the chief, lowering their head in respect. The chief comes, simply sits down, planting themselves on the red rock stone, about 3 feet in height. Just places the axe on their leg. And as soon as they sit down, take their hand, in a similar fashion, they clench the fist, and the drums stop. The drums played by some of the sages, some of the warriors that came out. And behind you, more shadows move, as if warriors and these tribes, they're returning back to their respective places. these are very at ready compared to the other 7. They mobilized very quickly. They do have a slight at edge feeling. Their eyes are upon you, thirsty for something. Chief sits down. Rain subsides, hitting the roof of the shelter. The campfires roar. There's no talking in here. Warriors and sages are all eyes on you all as you pass in. As the chief speaks first. Eat. Have food. These the sages and warriors offering their own bowls, play, their own food picked off of this fish and this meat, as well as berries and other things, the same goods in the other forest. As if this place, this woods, is another extension of the Tola. It's the same wood, just jumped the river. So, gives the same things.
Fair enough. I'm gonna eat. I think we're all just gonna eat.
Okay. As you begin eating, Chief speaks. We saw the dragon. It descended, but it did not come into the Ganiha. You can see the dragon went somewhere.
Looking at Paz.
And on the back of the raven spoken by Sage Running Water, they told me to come. You are free to talk while you eat. No rules against that. Just smiles a little bit, looking from left to right. So you all remain silent.
Feel a lot more threatened here than I did at the last place.
Do you do you know why we're here?
The raven spoke by the great sage Running Water that you are on a quest. Quest to take this. Motions for the amulet. Points to the stone. And then it has something to do with a great victory to be had. Great victory over the evil that tears at the Ganiha.
Yeah, that evil can be spotted through that pink and purple lightning you may have seen. And it's controlling this particular dragon. Not all of them are willing accomplices. And we need that there rock, as well as maybe getting help getting the other one nearby in order to help break the chains that hold this dragon and compel it to continue taking lives and wreaking havoc.
And I offer this stone to you to aid in the help of this dragon.
Thank you. It's going to make a huge difference.
My father has interacted with this dragon before. Their name is Belzar. They would commonly use magic to turn into an elf and speak to my father. They were peaceful, joyful, and they only wished to celebrate in our culture, feast with us, and to learn our ways. And
As
to often, I dare say, lay with our women.
you didn't have to say. You could have kept that one.
Hey,
I could have, but it is not for us to not speak truth.
As I said, they're currently being compelled.
Perhaps I
Them
should
and-
leave out the next part.
Well, do so if that's your instinct. If you're already thinking to yourself, maybe I should leave this out, that's usually a good sign.
I cannot. It's not our ways, it's the great motto. Belzer would also lay with our men.
I mean, good for him. Probably still his business.
Perhaps so. It was a great honor to those people. To lay
I
with the dragon.
genuinely can only imagine that it would be wild.
To see this dragon, after the stories my father told, turn to hate and to ruin, attacking even our people. We tried to fight back, but we could not. I can see that this dragon can be brought back to who they were before. At a great cost, many lives in its wake will come new and help bring about a new land here. The evil that washes over here is not just the dragon, but it is the dwarfs that have turned against their own kind.
hey, it's true they have.
They press to the north of the Ganiha. They chop down its trees, its life, its blood, and they use it to build war machines.
Did you say war machines? Got him.
We have attacked them and their lumber camps. We have slowed them. But these dwarfs are of a great number. And with them are creatures that are not of this world. They are more machine than they are you or I. They attack without mercy.
Yes. Well, we're hoping to sort of sweepingly address a series of. The dwarves are on the list.
They are, and I believe you. First is the dragon. The dragon
Yes.
can be an ally. Yes.
Yes. Well, so the dragon can be an ally. The stone will help us. There's another stone not too far away that we could really quite possibly use some help in acquiring. I don't think they're going to be quite as overwhelmingly cooperative as you are being about this.
I would say not. For it is I that knows who you refer to.
Yeah.
They press into the wood. Try to take this.
Try to take the stone.
Yes. We have
Well.
brought to mortal wounds some of these orcs. And they have said that Ukar demands that which I have.
Okay.
They attack We are but few. The orcs are.
Yes. But that's so right now they're listening to one person, but they don't all agree with him, but they're listening because he's in charge. So that's also on the list.
The name whispered is Ukar, a
Yeah,
great
and
chief.
not sure about great, powerful for sure. Great, depending, I guess, on who you think. They're currently united under him, so I suppose
My father has worked with orcs before, the White Breakers,
they're really
even
cool.
the Red Stalkers. But most Red Stalkers, Jade Bone Crushers, they are evil. They kill us, sometimes for sport.
Mm.
My father tells that they would trade with the White Breakers for protection, often, to allow them into the Gorniha, but we have not seen them in some time.
I think they're making their way over that way. And unfortunately, so will we soon.
You must understand that with Ukar uniting, Red Stalkers are with Jade Bone Crushers, and some White Breakers, and even the Shadow Hands are with them. United. They are very strong.
Yeah, yeah, yep. That's yep.
What is it that you hope to gain? Just the stone?
Specific. Oh, what with the stone?
No. Just the stone is what you gain, or do you intend to kill Ukar?
Well, we really need that stone. I would put that at priority 1 and 2. If Ukar is specifically working with Clan Gilgal or Demodar, that would put them at priority 3. But otherwise, they're not on the list. Do
I
you know?
see.
Or do you know if they're working with either? I don't know if you've come across the name Demodar, but that's where the lightning's coming from.
I have not.
He's the one orchestrating this whole thing.
Sounds like a great chief. Powerful
Again,
chief.
I mean,
Powerful.
powerful, maybe. Great. It's debatable.
Again, we're really going to break down the semantics here, but powerful for sure. We're trying to disassemble the parts before taking on the head here.
Of course.
We really need that rock, and you guys are sneakier than us, so
Speak plainly.
genuinely the only way I know how to speak.
What is it that you want from us?
If you can help us get that stone from his dagger without an all-out brawl, that would be very helpful.
Let me tell you
Right.
of the orcs and their land,
Mm,
and why the Grey Marteau cannot help you.
okay.
Hills that they live in are separated by deep rivers. They have built great metal bridges going across them. They are fortified with tall metal towers. They patrol the hills and move as quick It as quiet as we do. We do not use the bear to fight. We protect the bear, while they use the wolf. They twist and turn the soil to build and make great weapons, while we preserve and cherish the earth, only using what we can find. Most of our weapons come from them, from our great victories. There are very little paths that lead to the tops of the orcish villages, and Ukar's settlement we have never found, only told by those that we have interrogated, intimidated, telling us after they have made way into the woods and we have defeated them. Like us, they move, and their forts are much more fortified than the village you see, the settlement here. They have walls, towers, buildings. Do not. What I can do for you is I will give you this stone, and I will send a party into the foothills. Try to find where Ukar's camp is.
Okay. Thank you.
In exchange, once you free this dragon, once you ally with this dragon, I, Chief Talltree of the Grey Marteau, be ally to this dragon.
Okay. I mean, I think
And
that's
you
something we can do.
will fight the dwarfs and push them outside of our wood.
Here we go with the coup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I'd say that's a deal.
And Gilga's not gonna say no.
No, Google's probably geeking out. Yes, we can do that.
I'm honored, then, to share food and to share drink with great warriors as yourselves. Stay the night. Enjoy this place.
Thanks.
I will
You're
tell some of the elders to gather their groups, the warriors, and to head out now.
Will you pass the little one that stone if you want to see something cool?
The little one.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
come on.
Picks up
Recognize
the
you as at least humanity. Just stick it.
holds the amulet,
That's
plucking the
fair.
stone, and then
I just
sets
want
the
him to throw it to
stone
the right person.
into your hand, Paz. I care not what you do with this stone. I only care what you do once it's in your possession. Then begin to
Same.
make way out of the longhouse. Stone is now in your possession. Paz.
Right.
Well,
Whatever.
that was easy.
Yeah. Well, I think you can click those two together and maybe
Out in public,
put some focus. I mean, listen, if you want to do it privately.
kind of a private
Yeah.
event.
I gotta be honest, I really thought he was gonna ask for a turn with the dragon. The way he brought it up.
He still might.
He still might, honestly.
Maybe we should just kind of leave. Just get out while we're ahead.
No, we need to know where they are. And Gilgo was always gonna drag us into a coup.
Yeah, it felt like at some point we were gonna have to get involved.
Yeah. At least we're getting involved with friends this way. Or,
Plus, I'm all
allies.
for less organized government.
Oh, yeah. Burn it.
With the system.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And these people were so much more welcoming than most of the people we've interacted with.
I gotta say, this compared to Herak,
Give us food,
10 out of
shelter.
10. No one is blaming us. No one is mad just talking to us so far.
Like a region outside, right? So that's how I describe it. So these cultures, these people live in isolation. They just happen to be pushed together now. They look at you as equal or even greater warriors than them, and they're not used to dishonesty, right? They don't know what that really means.
Listen, we're not being dishonest. I'm just saying
I'm not going
we're
to
not
question
all,
you, right?
not everyone thinks that we're good times.
Well, I'm sure that they'll learn.
I'm gonna send when we're done saving I know, right? They'll figure it out. When we're done saving the world, I'm sending a postcard to Herak, and it's just a middle finger, and it's just gonna be like, it's just gonna say you're welcome. It's just gonna say you're welcome, and then in parentheses it's gonna say fuck you.
Oh my god. So as you're inside of the longhouse, and the chief Tallstree has left to give essentially the call to arms for perhaps two of the elders, right, to lead their warriors on a scouting party into the hills to try to figure out where Ugar's camp is. Now, Ugar's camp, and how I've termed that, and this is a good way to perhaps close out the session because we're past our time. So two people need to go to bed. This is how I'm going to close it out. Ugar's camp was used in language by Chief Talltree as perhaps a place within one of their settlements. So, in kind of noting that they move around in the same way, it's not that the villages or the towns that the Urks have moved. It's that the Ugar's camp moves around. I do want to clarify that. So it's almost as if they have to figure out where exactly the camp is in terms of these hills. So they're going to go on this party, and this is going to take time to try to find this camp and try to figure out where it is. There's not going to be an immediate return for you all. But it's something to think about for the next session of what you want to do in the interim. We just kind of hang out here. We know that paths can keep us safe against the dragon. The dragon's not going to return right now. We can hang out with these people and kind of work on our crafts, maybe just learn their ways a little bit. Maybe they have more information about Ismar in terms of like the Ulfarim, right? Tinkerer, these names, maybe they know some more information. So that's something to think about because the scouting party is going to take a little bit to get back. So that's what I was kind of referring to. And then in terms of the difference between these two people, that they are and they do contest with each other. They do fight each other, right? But something that the chief said was that since Ugar is kind of taken control, they're actually doing more to come at the chief. So that could be less of like random orcs spilling into the woods and then these little spit paths, more of like actual war parties coming in that they've been fighting. And those that they defeat, and they try to figure out why they're coming in so far into the wood, unlike before, where it was just these chance-off events. They say that they're after this thing, which is hinting at that it's the stone. So
yeah.
Ugar must know about the stone. Chief potentially have. So that is food for thought. I do want to, just kind of touch on those points, right? The orcs are definitely more cultured. They have potentially their own war machines, towers, right? These things in the foothills, and we're talking about large mesa style, right? Canyons and things, these foothills, and it's just a really steep and rigorous geography and not a forested region. So just two different kind of things. Any questions you'll have for me?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Does everything make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't want because I know we had to dust off the cobwebs at the beginning of the session. I want to make sure that everything's okay.
No, listen, nothing's 100%, but I think I'm on track.
You're on track. You're following. You're on track. Okay, cool. All right. So If you're watching the stream, thanks so much. We really appreciate it here. I'm going to go ahead and calculate
sure do.
experience points really fast. If people need to hop off, they can. That's
Yes,
totally
if
cool.
you know, as always, don't mind throwing mine in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. No worries.
Goodbye, Street.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Night.
All right. Should be at 9375 currently. So you have 1,016 experience each, puts you at 94,751 experience total. In addition, Heavy Heart and giving you an inspiration point for your thinking of that creature in terms of getting you across the river. So that's a big milestone for this particular sequence is getting across the river. You kind of circumvented the bridges, right, in terms of what that might entail for your party. So definitely get an inspiration point for that. It's good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
Well, they had water walking too. It wasn't just like
Yeah.
they
Yeah, no, we had our bases covered.
Yeah, your base is covered for sure. Yeah, definitely inspiration for that. So I'm going to close out the stream. If you're watching us, thanks so much. Really appreciate it again. And then check us out next week if you want to, Sundays at 4. See you then. So bye.
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 Bye.